Evening, guys. It's been a long time, hasn't it? Welcome to another live stream with yours truly, Alan Scouser. Hope you're all okay and you've been watching some good movies. So yeah, I'm back to the live streaming for the time being, anyway. Yes, I hope you're all well and that, and yes, so you've been watching some good movies. I've been watching a couple myself, like, some good and some bad and that, but yeah, it's good to be back in that, so I thought with it being Halloween, like, we being mad on horror movies, I thought I'd treat us all with a specialist Sunday night live stream. So yeah, so welcome along all those who've turned up so far, and I'll just sort myself out here with the comments and so forth. Right. Okay. Yes, as I say, it's good to be back with you all on that. And any of you's been to see the new Exorcist movie on the pictures? What did you think of it? Or any other horror movies? Yeah, please feel free to discuss. Yeah. So yeah, it feels funny, like being back after being off. Like, I think it's about must be nearly 2 months now, mustn't it? So yeah, so got myself sorted and that, and everything and that. And oh yeah, I always say this before I commence the live stream. If there's any problems whatsoever, visually or audibly, please let me know. Because I don't want to be waffling on and just not getting the full benefits of my live stream. So do let me know if the sound's a bit dodgy, or that even the visuals. But it's usually the sound, really. So yeah, so I'll say it's great to be back. And all right then, so we're going to see who's in the room at the moment. And oh yeah, actually, what week it is, don't bonfire night and Halloween and that. Yeah, so if you did any boom banger bang bangs, you know what it is, fireworks. You can't wait, can you, till November the 5th? Oh, and the moaning about poverty and you can afford to buy fireworks. Anyway, moving on. Right, let's see who we've got in the room. So we've got Craig. You okay, Craig? Thanks for turning up. We've got Vinny. Welcome back, Alan. It's nice to have you back, mate. Well, it's good to be back, Vin. As I say, it's been a while and that, doing the usual Thursday night live streams. And yeah, so yeah, as I thought I'd treat us all, to a special Halloween live stream and that, yeah, for a couple of hours. So yeah, and Sunday night's not a particularly bright night at the best of times, is it? So yeah, so I think it's the ideal time, to hold a Halloween live stream. And we've got Kevin here. Hi, Alan. Welcome back. Hope everyone is okay. All right, Kev. Yeah, thanks for messaging me on Facebook. Always enjoy hearing from you. And yeah, so as I said before, if there's any problem at all with the sound or the visuals, let me know. I can adjust it appropriately, So yeah, cheers, Kev. Vampire Jack. Evening, folks. You okay, Vampire Jack? Thanks for stopping by. Vampire Jack Ruby, yeah. Brian's here. Hi, Alan, everyone. You okay, Brian? Hope you've had a good week. Thanks for stopping by, mate. We've got Craig 1990. Hi, Alan. What size TV do you have, and what is the make of it? And what player do you use to watch your films on? Oh God, I'm trying to think now. It's TV. It's quite a big one, actually. That's what she said. Yeah. Yeah, I think it's about a 55-inch. Yeah, we've had a couple of years in that. It's a great, lovely picture, fantastic picture. Yeah. So yeah. So make of it now. Well, we've had a couple of TVs. So oh God, is it a Philips? I think it might be a Philips, actually. Yeah. What player do you use to watch your films on? I use like a 4K. It's a Toshiba. I'm not very good with makes, to be honest with you. Yeah. So it's either it's a Toshiba or one of those kind of makes. Yeah, but they're good quality. Yeah. Right. Kevin's saying we watched Targets last night. Good movie, Kev. Yeah. The DVD, which you already have, and it looks superb, even for a DVD. Yeah. Good movie, Targets. Yeah. The late great Boris Karloff. Yeah. Oh, you can't beat a bit of Boris, can you? Yeah. Fantastic. Yeah. He was the guy that got me into horror. I've said it before, when he took Frankenstein's monster off, oh yeah, fantastic. Yeah. Very, very nice man as well, by all accounts. Totally different to the kind of sinister characters he played, on the big screen. Brian's saying video and audio are good. Oh, that's what I like to hear. Thanks very much, Brian, mate. Yeah, I always love to hear that. Cheers, mate. And we've got Melanie here. Hi, Alan. How are you? I'm not too bad, thanks, Mel. Yeah, I hope you're okay as well. You know it. Thanks for turning up. It's always nice to see you. Yeah. Have you been watching any good movies lately? Yeah, please feel free to discuss. Oh, I watched a terrible one last night. I really did. And it was called Hollywood Meat Cleaver Massacre on the 101 label. And Christopher Lee was supposed to be in it. But when we put it on, Christopher Lee, he only bookended it because he came on at the beginning, narrating, telling about the story of this demon. And then he comes on at the end with an epilogue. I thought to myself, that's a bit of a con. He said Christopher Lee's in it, and he's basically just bookending it and that, you know. But I won't tell you about the movie in case you want to check it out. But I didn't like it, guys. It was boring. It was slow. You know, nothing really happened. It was a bit far fetched. And yes, it's Hollywood Meat Cleaver Massacre. It's called on the 101 label. But yeah, very disappointing. I think they had a bloody cheek, you know, saying Christopher Lee was in it and that, and he was only bloody bookending it and narrating, you know, coming off the beginning and going off at the end. Yeah, so really foxed us there. Like, they should have just said, narrate, you know, with an introduction by Christopher Lee. Yeah, this is how you get kidded with some of these labels. We've got Stephen here. Hi, Alan. Good to see you back. It's good to be back, Steve. Yeah, it's been a while, as I say, you know. Yeah, so yeah, it's good to be back, mate. Kevin's saying, I love keeping in touch, Alan. Please, you are well. Oh, thanks very much, Kev. Ditto, same here. I love keeping in touch with you and all my other fellow YouTubers and that. You know, I love watching all the live streams and that. I love watching all the reviews, the top 10s. I try to watch as many as I can. I'd love to comment on every single one, guys, but there's that many people putting such good quality videos up. You know, I'm sort of like, I'm commenting as best as I can. But you know yourselves, you'd like to comment on every single person's stream. It's just impossible. You just can't do it. But I'll watch as many as I can, you know, and I really appreciate the hard work you guys are putting into your streams and your pickups. And I especially love the top 10 movies and that, you know, and the movies of each decade. Fantastic. Yeah, some of YouTubers are doing a fantastic job putting those you know, videos together, you know, highlighting the movies of each decade and that. Fantastic. Oh, I must tell you guys, I got a lovely book through the post today. Now, I was in Waterstones in Liverpool yesterday, and I had my eye on 2 books. I had my eye on the Halloween one, that big giant one about the new, you know, the Gordon Green movies, the Halloween, the last 3. Big, massive book all about the trilogy. And then also there's the Wicker Man, which was $39.99, as was the Halloween $13.99. But I thought to myself, sod it, I'm gonna order the Wicker Man off Amazon, the big book. So it came today. So I'm going to do a book review of that. So stay tuned for that. But I've got to get the Halloween one as well, because it's a beauty, an absolute beauty. It tells you every single thing about the Halloween, David Gordon Green Halloween trilogy. Lovely photographs in it. Oh, a mine of information for any Halloween fan. So I'll probably get that on Amazon as well, you know. But oh yeah, fantastic. Yeah, real, absolute tiger tanks of books, the both of them. I tell you a film I picked up yesterday in HMV Liverpool, Infinity Pool. Any of you guys seen that? I'm going to watch that. I might watch that tonight. If not watch it tonight, I'll watch it tomorrow. Yeah, so I've heard a lot of good things about that Infinity Pool. So yeah, so I got that. I picked that up in HMV, and I also picked up the 4K of Hannibal. You know, the sequel to Silence of the Lambs. So it's great to have that on 4K. So I'll be giving that a watch sometime in the week. We've got Fazbear Brothers too. Hi, Alan. All hope you are doing well. I'm not too bad, thanks. I hope you are. Thanks for stopping by. Kevin's saying, I'm looking forward to the new Blu-ray of The Terror. Oh, I'm going to get that, Kev, yeah. Boris Karloff and Jack Nicholson, yeah. Which should be a major improvement on the 2 previous ones I have. Yeah, I've seen, like, the previous ones I've seen. I've never actually owned them on DVD, but the previous ones I've seen online have been, the pictures been left a lot to be desired, you know. So I'm looking forward. That's on my radar, that one. Boris Karloff, The Terror. Yeah, I like the way they showed clips of that in Targets, you know, when the Boris Karloff movie Targets, they showed clips of that, didn't they? Interspersed with the actual story of Targets and that. And there was another old Boris Karloff movie as well they showed in that, going back to, I think it was 1931. I forget the name of that one. But oh yeah, definitely The Terror is definitely on my radar. Vampire Jack saying it was Christopher Lee who got me into horror. Well, more or less the same here. I mean, after Boris Karloff and Lon Chaney Jr. and all the other Universal actors, I progressed on to Hammer, and it was Christopher Lee and Peter Cushing who were my next, basically, if you like, port of call, step up towards me loving of the horror genre. Started at the bottom with Universal, and when I saw Hammer, stepped up again, and then Amicus has stepped up again, and of course the great horror films that followed, right at the top. So yeah, been a horror fan. I've been a horror fan since, I'd say, around about 1968, 69, when I first saw Boris Karloff and Frankenstein, and of course later on the Hammer movies, as I say, with Christopher Lee, So yeah, love Christopher Lee. Yeah, he's great in The Wicker Man, isn't he? Playing Lord Summerisle. Fantastic movie, that. I never get tired of watching The Wicker Man. I think it's a real good piece of piece of film art. The Wicker Man, such a good. I love the way it starts off as well. You think it's going to be a gentle story, don't you? Set in a quiet village and that, but boy, does the horror kick in, guys, as the movie goes on. And that ending, wow. Say no more. Right, let's have a look and see. We've got Melanie, and she's saying, I went to the pictures to see A Haunting in Venice recently. I've heard good things about that, Mel. It wasn't bad if you like Agatha Christie. I like some of her stories. Yeah, I'll get that. I'll probably get that on Blu-ray and DVD, because I think I've said before, I don't go to the cinema now. I haven't been for years. So I'll probably give that if I don't rent it on Amazon, I might get the Blu-ray. Yeah, I've heard a lot of good things about that one, Mel. Brian's asking me, what movies are you planning on watching on Halloween? Well, most probably be a couple of the Halloween ones. I don't know which ones yet. Probably the first one, maybe like, I don't know, might get some of my Hammer movies out and some of my 4Ks where I haven't watched, I've got the, what's the name on 4K? I've got The Others with Nicole Kidman. That's a great one, that. And I've got Rosemary's Baby. Yeah, that's a Marmite movie, of course. Yeah, got that on 4K. As I say, I've got Hannibal on 4K. I've got quite a few 4Ks. I haven't. They built up over the months. I've got to get through them. I've got a big backlog, guys. I've got to get through. So yeah, most probably one of them. Oh, I've ordered tell you what I've ordered, guys. I've ordered the Bride of Frankenstein Universal on 4K, and I've also ordered The Creature from the Black Lagoon on 4K. So I love the 4Ks of them; they're fantastic. And the last ones I got, I was lucky to get the slipcover with them. So I'm hoping, fingers crossed, I'll get the slipcovers with these. So I love my Universal monsters. They are for me, guys. I don't care what anybody says. They stand head and shoulders above all the horror movies. A lot of horror movies today have been influenced by the Universal movies and also Hammer. So oh yeah, Universal was my first induction into the world of horror, and I always I always like to give a nod to them when I do my videos, and that a generous nod to Universal Pictures provided me with hours and hours of entertainment when I was young. When I used to stay up late and watch them, and that especially when there's no school in the morning. Oh, that was my idea of heaven, staying up on a Friday night, to watch the late night horror movies and that. Fantastic memories, yeah. S Pearl, from 1 to 10, how good as Halloween Ends for you? Wasn't a fan. I wasn't a fan. I'll probably give it another watch in that, but I didn't like the scarcity of Michael Myers' appearances. You'd only seen him, a bit of him, it started off brilliantly. Oh, I thought this is going to be, I was rubbing my hands that this is going to be a great one, this Halloween Ends and that, but oh God. And that character, that teenager who they made the main protagonist, this story went nowhere. It trailed off, I thought it was a bit corny as well, the ending where he got his body and that, and his body along the street and that, and doing what he did with his body. I thought that was a bit corny, that, guys. I thought it was a bit corny as well, making Jamie Lee Curtis like a bloody female Rambo, with all the guns and that. No. I prefer the original 1 and 2. They're my favourites, although I have got a lot of affection for the franchise. The first 2 are my favourites. Beyond a shadow of a doubt. I did not like that third one at all. Oh, I know it's a Marmite movie and a bit controversial. I hated Season of the Witch. I really did. I watched it a few times and I thought, nah, this is not for me. Just like I've watched The Changeling a few times. Not for me. Movies like you've watched a few times and you don't like them. It's time to bin them, guys. That's it. You don't like them. You don't like them. So yeah, but the first 2 Halloweens, they're great. We've got Yam Yam here. You okay, Yam Yam, mate? Watcher, everyone. Hope you're all doing well. I'm not too bad, thanks. Hope you are. Thanks for stopping by. Really nice to see you. Retro Fusion, good to see you back, Alan. It's good to be back. I'm made up. Have you got the Wicker Man 4K yet? No, I haven't. No, because I'm debating about that, actually, because I've got a cracking version of it already. So I've seen the deluxe box set, Retro, And I've agonized and thought to myself, would that be much of a major upgrade? This is what I always ask myself when I see a new 4K come out. I always ponder, is it worthwhile paying out the extra money to get a 4K? You know, the picture quality is not much of a step up. No, I don't bother. But I'd have to watch a couple more reviews and that to see if there's a big difference in the between the Blu-ray and the 4K. I would love to get it actually, because it's a lovely set, but it's a bit pricey at the moment, like, you know. But I've had a lot of versions of The Wicker Man over the years. I really have. It's one of my all-time favourite horror movies, you know. And of course, what more could you ask for? You got the late great Christopher Lee as the villain, Lord Summerisle. Edward Woodward is fantastic in the role of Sergeant Howie. But yeah, getting back to the 4K, I'm on the fence at the moment about that one. I'll have to give it a little bit more thought. But I would, if it's a big step up, I might be tempted to punish me wallet again. Right. Sorry, guys, the comments today are acting a bit weird here. Vinny's here. Okay, Vin. Alan, when are we going to see your DVD collection? It's not far now. I've got another shelf in. I'm just rearranging everything, just putting the finishing touches. And once I've done that, I will do my. I know you guys have been asking for it for months and that, but the thing is, guys, I need to get a bit more space, you know, make it a bit more commodious, you know, a bit more roomy. So I've got my new shelf in. I've got my general movies as well. I don't just collect horror movies. I've got a small amount of it. Well, I'd say fairly sizable amounts of general movies in another case. But I put all my horror movies together. But again, they're starting to you know, go beyond, transcend the space I've got. So I might have to fork out for another shelf. You know, so I've got rid of a lot of DVDs. I've got the Blu-ray for. I've got rid of a lot of them. So I'm just punishing it. Can't even speak. I haven't even had a pint of lager. I am just putting the finishing touches to my shelves. And once I've done that, I will be snapping away with my mobile phone. I will be able to see my full horror movie collection. So watch this space. Yeah. Right. Kevin's saying it's the criminal code on Targets, Alan. It's out on Blu-ray by Indicator. Oh yeah, that's it. That was the other movie, Kev, that was on the that was interspersed in Targets. The Criminal Code, an old black and white Karloff movie. Thanks for that, Kev. Yeah. So yeah, I might get that one. I see they brought the new Todd Browning's Freaks House, haven't they, on Blu-ray, but it's a bit pricey at the moment. It's got 2 other movies as well. I forget what the other 2 movies are. But yeah, it's I saw it in HMV in Liverpool yesterday when I was out shopping, and I picked it up, like. But I only ended up, as I say, I only ended up coming away with Hannibal and the other one, Infinity Pool. Yeah. So yeah. Vampire Jack's saying Halloween Ends was a 7 for me. That's fair enough. Yeah, it's one of those Marmite movies, isn't it? A lot of people like it. A lot of people loathe it. But yeah, it was a bit disappointing. In fact, those last 3 movies, guys, they weren't really much to write home about. You know, the first one was okay. The second one was a bit corny. Evil dies tonight. Evil dies tonight. How many bloody times are you going to say that? Evil dies tonight. Evil dies tonight. He sounded like a bloody broken record, didn't he? You know, and I didn't like the sort of like extraordinary superpowers what he gave Myers and that. You know, he seemed to take on all the firemen and that. You know, like Superman. I thought that was a bit corny. Like he seemed to be giving them a bit of a supernatural elements. I don't like that really. And you know, some of the movies have divulged his background and that. And I don't like that either. I like a lot of mystery behind the horror characters. I don't know if you guys feel the same about that. But yeah, I've got them in my collection, like, because I collect all the Halloween movies, and I've got all the Scream Factory on 4K. The only one I haven't kept is that dreadful Season of the Witch. But that's not a slice on you guys who like it, because I know a lot of you guys do like it. A lot of you hate it. But I'm just saying I didn't keep that one because I didn't care for it. Right, so Vampire Jackson, Halloween night for me, it's going to be Salem's Lot. Good choice, Salem's Lot. Yeah, no doubt you mean the David Soul one from 1979. Fantastic movie. James Mason. Yeah, he's great in that. Yeah, and of course the Vampire Barlow, one of the scariest vampires after Christopher Lee I've ever seen in a vampire. Well, that was a TV movie, wasn't it? A vampire movie, TV movie. But yeah, I love Salem's Lot. I did not like the remake. I don't know what the hell's happening with this new one. What the sort of like, it's still on ice, isn't it, guys? This new one, what they're making, I haven't heard any more about it, to be honest with you. But yeah, I love Salem's Lot. Yeah, I'm saying, I watched Horror Express for the first time. I love that movie. That's one of my all-time favorites of the 1970s. Yeah, I watched Horror Express a few weeks ago, and I loved every second of it. Good, great chemistry between Cushing and Lee. You said it for me there, mate. Yeah, fantastic. And a little cameo by Telly Savalas. Yeah, I love Horror Express. I love the snowy setting. I love the train setting, and I love the nuances of the creature. You know, it had many layers to it. It wasn't just sort of like a creature on a train. It had a little, he sort of like tweaked it a bit, didn't he, to make it a bit more sinister and give it a bit more depth. Yeah, love Horror Express. Might get a 4K one day, fingers crossed. Sorry guys, just comments are just scroll up. Vinny's saying Christopher Lee, he was good in The Man with the Golden Gun. Yeah, he played Scaramanga, didn't he? I love The Man with the Golden Gun. Very, very sinister. Yeah, but he's loading the gun up and that, you know, and he's just pointing it like that. Oh, yeah, nobody could play a baddie quite like Christopher Lee, could they? You know, absolute legend he was. Absolutely love the guy. Yeah, I'm saying, and during Horror Express, Cushing was in depression, grieving over his wife. He certainly was, yeah, who recently passed, and Lee got Cushing to accept the role. That's right, you're right, yeah. And Lee was looking after Cushing and protecting him beautifully. I know Christopher Lee was a great friend of Peter Cushing's, yeah. And he used to, you probably know the story when he used to talk to each other over the phone. He'd sort of like mimic Daffy Duck and Bugs Bunny. They do like those noises to each other over the phone and that, you know, which is quite surprising. Like, you know, looking at the elegant, well-spoken gentleman acting like two teenage boys and that, you know, yeah. But that's how close they were, Peter Cushing and Christopher Lee, great friends, yeah. You don't often see that, do you? In when you've got like two horror stars, like basically sometimes they're rivals, aren't they? They're jealous of each other. But oh no, not Cushing and Lee. They were really, you know, close, yeah. And I often say this, guys, the horror movie where there's all the more poorer today, you know, by their absence, yeah. Kevin's saying, Fear on Friday was great on TV, Alan, in the 70s, yeah. It was always after a sports programme and darts or something I would always overrun, that's right, yeah. Yeah, I remember Appointment with Fear, Kev, as well, on a Monday night. It used to come on 10:30 after Dear Mother Love Albus, Rodney Bewes. Anybody remember that? Anybody old enough for you to remember that? Used to come on Appointment with Fear, and you get this guy sitting in a chair in gothic attire and black hair like Oliver Reed, and he'd say, "Welcome to Appointment," in this like sepulchral tone. "Welcome to Appointment with Fear. Tonight we are going to revisit the Wolfman as he battles Frankenstein." You know, things like that, guys. You know, really gave it the atmosphere. I loved Appointment with Fear. Appointment with Fear was my very first introduction to the world of horror, because it was on Appointment with Fear that I first saw Boris Karloff taking Frankenstein's monster off. And I watched all those episodes of Appointment with Fear every Monday night. Yeah. And sometimes, like me, parents and me now, I'd be in bed and I'd be staying up watching it and that, you know. But so Frankenstein, Bride of Frankenstein. I used to love it as well when you used to show all the movies in chronological order. You know, Frankenstein, Bride of Frankenstein, Son of Frankenstein, Ghost of Frankenstein, Frankenstein meets the Wolfman, you know, House of Frankenstein, House of Dracula, you know, oh, fantastic, yeah. Loved Appointment with Fear. Sorry, guys, just scroll back up to the comments. Yeah, I'm saying, back down to Christopher Lee here. As you know, I absolutely love horror, right? But I'm not the biggest Christopher Lee fan. But after watching Horror Express and knowing how protective he was over Cushing, I'm warming towards Lee. Yeah, oh yeah, he was a great actor, Christopher Lee. You know, and not only famous for his horror roles as well. He did a lot of TV plays. He's done a lot of non-horror roles. He was in the Hammer pirate movies, wasn't he? He's been in all kinds. He's played Sherlock Holmes, very, very versatile actor, and he's got a fantastic CV. He really has. I've got a book the main book about Christopher Lee is a great one because it's got all his movies in, and at the end of each movie synopsis, he comments on the movies. It's a great one, yeah. So I highly recommend that one, that Christopher Lee book, if you love Christopher Lee as much as I do. There's one Christopher Lee book it's very, very hard to get hold of, guys. It's quite expensive, and it was written by Jonathan Rigby, you know, who wrote the Gothic series of horror books. He knows his stuff, Jonathan Rigby. He's met Christopher Lee a few times and that, and he knows his stuff. He always comes on commenting about horror, you know. And yeah, he done a book, Christopher Lee, all his movies and that. So I'm trying to get that at a reasonable price. So far I've had no luck. You know, it's an absolute tiger tank of a book. There's actually been 2 versions of that. So you never know, I might get lucky. Keep looking. Caleb Croft, hi Alan. You okay, Caleb? Are you a Mother's Day fan? Do you mean the original or the one with Rebecca De Mornay in? I picked up the 4K from Vinegar Syndrome and it's great. Tons of bonus features. I grabbed the Bloodsucking Freaks 4K as well. Oh right, I haven't got the Rebecca De Mornay one, but I've got the original. Was it 1980? Was it the early 80s that was made? It's a good movie, yeah. I might actually get the 4K of that from Vinegar Syndrome, yeah. So Bloodsucking Freaks is a good one, yeah. That's a good one. I watched a good horror movie the other night, guys. You've probably seen the review of it about a wacky ice cream man, a chocolate, strawberry, and vanilla. Yeah, it's the reviews. And if you haven't seen it, it's in my reviews on my channel. Yeah, it's basically about this ice cream, and he's got this big crush on a girl, and that she's in a soap and that, and he's got these fantasies about being in a soap and that, and he's being this sort of like super macho beach guy and that, all these kind of fantasies and that. So when it comes around to actually asking her out, she said she accepts. But I think it's I won't say too much about it, but it all goes downhill when she knocks him back. So highly recommend that one, chocolate, strawberry, and vanilla. The nuttiest ice cream man I've ever seen in horror movie history. Yam saying Mother's Day is the one with Rebecca De Mornay is great. Yeah, the remake, but I've not seen the original yet. I do have it on 88 films, but not yet. See, it's a good one. It's a good one. Both I like both of them. They're different in their own special ways, different stories and that, But oh yeah, I like both their Mother's Day movies. Caleb Croft is saying the original is the one I'm speaking of. Yeah, true 80s classic. I know what you mean. It's, as I said, I've just said it's a great one. That. Melanie's asking, has anybody seen the new Exorcist? I haven't. But I've heard a lot of bad reviews about it, Mel, to be honest, so I don't think I'll be giving. I'm not really a fan of The Exorcist anyway, yeah, I'm not really a fan of that. I like The Omen better, so I suppose it's one of those Marmite movies, isn't it, really, but yeah, I won't be going to see that. But I say I've heard some people have liked it, but a lot said it's very disappointing, guys, from what I've heard, and that, they haven't liked it at all. Ellen Burstyn makes a cameo in it, doesn't she? Yeah, Linda Blair was supposed to be in it as well, so I don't know what happened there, So, but yeah, I won't be. I think I'll be giving that one a miss. Yeah, I'm saying, thanks, Alan. Oh, you're welcome. Glad to hear you. I'm well, and I'm doing well, thanks. Just deciding what's horror to watch later, but with such a big collection, I know what you mean. Yeah. It's difficult to choose what one to watch. I know I've got a big collection, as you know, and sometimes you might feel like watching a ghost movie, you might feel like watching a horror anthology movie, you might feel like watching a witchcraft movie. It just depends on the mood you're in. I always like to revisit my old comfort movies, like Christopher Lee's Hammer, Dracula, Cushing's Frankenstein's. I always like to revisit, like it's like revisiting an old friend. I love those movies. They were so well done. But all right, some of the plots might be a little bit corny, but at the end of the day, they're so enjoyable, guys, and a lovely colour, lovely setting, great characters, and as I say, Christopher Lee as Dracula, unbeatable. Peter Cushing as Baron Frankenstein, unbeatable, as well as Dr. Van Helsing, who was unbeatable playing that role, But oh yeah, I love me Hammer films, Universal, and of course Amicus. Melanie's saying Salem's Lot's a classic. David Soul's fantastic in it. How scary. I know, yeah. How scary is Mr. Barlow? Very, very scary. As I said before, he's got the Nosferatu look, hasn't he? And when he pops up in the house and that, oh my days. Oh, and of course, we mustn't forget the part where the kid's knocking on the window in the dead of night, knocking on the window, and when he opens the window, he just pounces on him like that, doesn't he? Oh, fantastic. Yeah. That is right up there. That movie is right up there with the Hammer films in my book. It was so well done, and it did good justice to the book, in my opinion. Absolutely love it. Yeah. Kevin's saying Horror Express is a classic, superb film. I definitely agree with you there, Kevin. I'm saying I've had a few deliveries recently. I had the Criterion Freaks, expensive at 40 quid, yeah. But Freaks 1932 is one of my favourite films, same here, of all time. And Indicators, Homicidal, Arrow's Incredible Shrinking Man, yeah. I've got them, yeah. They're all great movies, yeah. True classics, yeah. Never get tired of watching them, fantastic. But if that comes down in price, that Freaks, I will get that. But at the moment, I think it's a bit pricey, you know. It is a good film, like it is an old film, but I think it's a bit pricey, you know, at the moment. We've got Geek Legion of Doom here, Leo. You okay, Leo, mate? Thanks for stopping by. Ian and Alan, have you ever dressed up for Halloween? No. If so, what was your favourite costume? I don't need to dress up for Halloween. My face is as ugly as it is. No, just joking. But no, I haven't actually. No, never. I've been to the odd Halloween disco. I've never sought this to dress up as Wolfman, Dracula, Frankenstein. You know, I've just gone along basically, you know, with the flow. Basically, spectators and that, you know, just there watching and that, you know. But yeah, so yeah, I've never felt any inclination to get dressed up as a Halloween character. But if it was pushed to dress up as a you know, a monster horror character, it could be what, I don't know, Dracula, because there's not really all that much to put on with him, isn't it? Just put the cloak on, stick a couple of fangs in your gob and you're set, minus the red contact lenses, which Christopher Lee hated wearing, by the way, because he used to irritate his eyes. But it'd be Dracula, I don't know, maybe Wolfman, but again, I wouldn't put the full suit on. It'd just be the mask and that, you know, and that'd be it, yeah. So, but yeah, it's something I've never done. We've got Yam here again, but I bought Till Death Do Us Part collection on DVD from eBay, and the press I bought it off didn't put all the discs in. I was very annoyed, so sending it back, but posting it back, I'm losing money. Oh, that's ridiculous, isn't it? Yeah, you've got to watch it, haven't you? You know, you buy things and that. Yeah. Yam again says, Freaks also contains The Mystic, that's right, and The Unknown, which are two silent classics. I haven't seen either of those movies, so I'll be very interested in checking those out. Yeah. It's a nice addition. Yeah, as I saw it yesterday in HMV in Liverpool, yeah. But yeah, it's a classic, yeah. Todd Browning's Freaks. Kevin's saying, I can remember on TV a program that had a colour montage of various monsters' faces. What was that, Alan? It was the early 70s. Oh, you've got me there, Kev. A colour montage of various monsters' faces. A TV program. I'm not too sure, you know. Any guys here could throw a light on that? I can't remember. I've watched that many horror series and horror movies, you know. It's I can't, you know, off the top of my head, it doesn't ring a bell. But if any of you guys, you know, it rings a bell with you, you know, discuss, you know. But yeah, so I watched that many horror series over the years. Yam saying there's a new comedy horror which I have on Blu-ray called The Blackening. I haven't seen that one. It was so funny with likable characters, and I liked it so much that I rewinded this and watched this again straight away. Oh, very good. I'll have to watch out for that one, The Blackening. Yeah, I'll have to have a look later on Amazon or any of the other site to see if I can get myself a copy. Oh, I've ordered the Last Voyage of the Demeter, you know, the new Dracula movie, but I have to order from America because you can't get it here. So I've ordered it with the slipcover, so that should be here sometime this week. So I'm looking forward to watching that. Yam again says, Telly Savalas was great in Horror Express. Indeed he was, yeah. And the creature was fantastic, yeah. And Cushion made me laugh a few times. It made you laugh a few times. I can't remember the quotes, but I'm so proud to have this on my physical media collection. I always like it myself when you come out with wisecracks and horror films and that, you know, out of the blue, basically, you know. Yeah, so it's like the sweet. I was watching that program last night, guys, on the 1970s TV shows, and you know, they're showing some of the clips of the Sweeney, And you know where John Thor and Dennis Schwartzman, Carter, Detective Sergeant Carter, they nab a villain, don't they? And John Thor, in his typical, you know, sort of like rough and ready manner, where the Sweeney's son, are we having any dinner? Get your trousers, you know, things like that stay in your mind, don't they? You know, these wisecracks, what they come out like, you know, Clint Eastwood, go ahead, make my day and all that. And the other one, he says, dying ain't much of a living, boy. You know, oh, you know, some of these, I say, they're timeless, aren't they? Some of these wisecracks. And then Jaws, you're gonna need a bigger boat, you know, things like that, you know, and Carry On Screaming, yeah, frying tonight, you know, these just stick in your mind, don't they, guys, you know? Nice. Yam Yam saying, I'm warming towards Lee after Horror Express and how protective he was over Cushion, yeah. So I'm starting to watch more of Lee, and I'm now a fan of him, yeah. I think we had that one before, didn't we, Vinny? You. Yam Yam saying, I remember the quote now. The guy says to Lee and Cushion, "You two are together. What if one of you is the monster?" And Cushion says, "Monster? We're British, you know." Oh, that's it. Yeah, yeah. I know what you mean now. Yeah, and he call that one. Sam K.A. Hello, Alan. Are you okay, Sam? Thanks for stopping by. How's it going? I'm just watching if follows at the moment. Not too bad, thanks, Sam. Hope you were all right as well. Yeah, so you're enjoying it follows, are you? Yeah, I must admit it wasn't one of my favourite. That's another one where I've watched a few times as well. I couldn't really get into it, but well, if you like it and that, you know, fair play and that, you know, it's one of those Marmite movies, I suppose, isn't it? Vampire Jack says Demeter was awesome. I had a great time with it. Oh, that's good to know. Yeah, cheers, thanks. Brian's saying, I bought a Blu-ray a few weeks ago called The Haunting of the Queen Mary. I've heard it's really good. The Haunting of the Queen Mary. I don't think I've seen that one. I'm sure I haven't seen that one. I've seen one called The Haunting of the Titanic, which wasn't much cop. But I don't think I've seen that one. The Haunting of the Queen Mary. Very haunted ship, that, wasn't it? Yeah, especially the bats and that. Yeah, the bats is like these sort of like seeing footsteps on the floor and that, you know, and he had like voices and that. Very, very creepy ship, that, the Queen Mary. Leo's saying, did you ever read horror comics? Oh, all the time, yeah. Especially the Witching Hour, DC's Witching Hour, the House of Mystery, the Warren magazines, Creepy and Eerie. I read all of them. I saw on eBay a complete collection of the UK comic called Scream that came out in the 80s. I loved them. I had some good stories. I was tempted. I missed that one, Scream, in the 80s, but there's one out now that's very much like The Dark Side, called Scream. It's basically like a glossy one, covers all the movies and that, you know, like The Dark Side and that. I actually picked up the latest issue yesterday in HMV. It's got a big article on Christopher Lee, you know, the modern Dracula movies, Dracula AD and the Satanic Rites of Dracula, and it's got an article on the new Exorcist movie. So I quite like Scream magazine, but that one you mentioned there, Leo, I missed that one. Yeah, Scream, it came out in the 1980s. Yeah, I would have loved to have got those original EC comics that they banned in the 1950s. Although I've got like well, you most probably seen me in my videos, my reviews. I've got the some of them in a book form. You know, and they absolutely beautifully are. You know, they really capture the essence of the 1950s and that. You know, the horror comics and that. Yeah, so fantastic. Yam Yam saying, Alan, is that book called Authorized Screen History? The Christopher Lee one. Do you know what? Do you mean the one that? Do you mean the one I'm looking for, or are you talking about the one I've got where he comments at the end of every movie synopsis? It might be the one Authorized Screen History. That might be the one I'm looking for, the Jonathan Rigby one. Yeah. So there's actually been two versions of that. An updated one, which of course I'm going to go for the updated one, aren't I? So, but yeah, you just might be right there, Yam Yam. Yeah, the Authorized Screen History. Retro Fusion saying, are you picking up the new Todd Slaughter set from Indicator next month, Alan? I don't think so, because I'm not really into his movies, Todd Slaughter, although it does look a nice set. I tell you what, it looks a beautiful, beautiful set, and I'm definitely going to get it. There's going to be a new Peter Cushing set, guys. If you buy the Dark Side magazine, there's if you look at the back, there's a big advertising that. It's like the Christopher Lee one, the Christopher Lee one we done a couple of months ago. We done well, part 1 and part 2. This is a Peter Cushing one. I'm sure it's Severin that's releasing it, and it's got movies where I've never seen them in. Got a big book in that, and a loads more packed with special features. So that will definitely be on my radar. I might treat myself to that for Christmas. Yeah, Peter Cushing deluxe box set. There's another new horror movie, guys. It's on my radar. Talk to Me. Any of you guys seen that? Yeah, I might say they had the Blu-rays today in HMV, but I might rent it out on Amazon first, because that's what I've been doing lately. I've been renting movies out first just to see if I like them. I did want to rent out Infinity Pool, but it's still there's no option on Amazon at the moment to rent it out. So I bought it. I bought it yesterday. So if I don't watch it tonight, I'll watch it tomorrow. So but yeah, I'll probably do a review of that when I've watched it. Infinity Pool. Vinny's saying, I saw the TV show about the 1970s yesterday. It was very good. Yeah, it took me back to my childhood. It was very good, wasn't it, Vin? Yeah, showing you all the shows and that, and the the Sweeney, Bruce Forsyth's Generation Game, to name but a few. I enjoyed it. Yeah, I enjoyed the one last week as well, about the 60s. That was a good one. Yeah, very, very good. Yeah, just waiting for some more comments, guys. Another Boris Karloff movie I picked up recently, guys, was one called Isle of the Dead. I don't know if any of you have seen that one. It's a black and white one. I think he made it in the 1940s. I've never seen it, so I'm looking forward to checking that one out. Isle of the Dead. Oh, I tell you what I have heard. I've heard whisperings that they're going to make a Halloween TV series. If it was anything like the bloody Chucky series, I'm out. As you say in Dragon's Den, I'm out. Yeah, they're going to make, as I say, it hasn't really come to fruition yet, but I've heard whisperings that they're going to be making a Halloween TV series, and Michael Myers will probably feature in it, but I don't think they should do that, guys. I think if they start doing TV series of every single franchise, it's going to dilute the story more and more. I mean, it's sort of some of these stories, like, they're getting diluted, or up as it is, and that, the Chucky series, for instance, they've done the same with Halloween, really, and that, oh yeah, they shouldn't stop making. They've done the Scream one as well, haven't they? They've done a TV series of Scream. I don't think they should do that, guys. I don't know about what you think. He done one of, what's the name, didn't he? Psycho, the Bates Motel. It was okay up until that dreadful last episode. It was just awful, really enjoying it right through and that, but that last episode, oh my gosh, talk about an anticlimax. But yeah, that's just my opinion anyway. I don't know what you guys think of that. Should they make TV series of a top horror franchises? Let me know. I'd be very happy to discuss. Retrofusion says, what's your favorite 70s TV anthology show, Alan? Mine's Tales of the Unexpected. I like Tales of the Unexpected. I like Thriller, Brian Clemence's Thriller from the early 70s. I was going to say The Hammer House of Horror, but that wasn't screened until autumn 1980. Yeah, Tales of the Unexpected, very good. Tales from the Crypt, again, that was the 80s and early 90s. But yeah, I would say Tales of the Unexpected, Brian Clemence's Thriller. There's been a few in between, like they've only had sort of like short episodes and that short episode run, So Tales of Unease is a good one. There's not many stories in it, but I can highly recommend that one. It was published on the network label. Some cracking stories in that. Tales of Unease, I think it was made in 1970. Yeah, but oh yeah, Tales of the Unexpected, without doubt. I've got the box set of that. And Beast is a good one from 1976. Each story was shown on a Friday night in the autumn of 1976, and it was about a particular animal. It could be about a rat, it could be about a bird, and it was centered around a ghost, basically ghost supernatural. One of my most memorable episodes, and that was a segment called During Barty's Party, which starred Anthony Bates. I don't know if any of you guys know him, Anthony Bates. He was in a lot of films and that, you know, in the 60s and 70s. He plays like this sort of like upper class guy, and he comes home and that's his wife and that, and it comes on the radio. There's a swarm of rats, basically, you know, surrounding everywhere and that, you know, and you don't actually see the rats, but they're basically trapped in the house, you know, and just get the DJ on the wireless set about the rats and that, you know. Reminded me a little bit of James Herbert's, you know, novel The Rats, but that stands out during Barty's party, yeah, and a couple of others as well were good in that. The one in the supermarkets as well, that was good. That was a good one. But yeah, great. It's a great series piece. I highly recommend you check it out. You can get it on DVD, quite cheap now. That was a good one in the 70s. Retrofusion says 70s, yeah. Kevin's saying, I want Isle of the Dead. Yeah, well, HMV have got it. I think it's $14.99, Kev. My memory serves me correctly, but yeah, I'm looking forward to checking that out, Isle of the Dead. I'll most probably do a review of it once I've watched it, yeah. Leo's saying, I agree. I think if you make a TV show based on a movie, it makes it very hard then to go back to a movie series. Exactly, yeah. Just look at Star Wars or Marvel. Oh, there's been an absolute plethora of them, hasn't there? Star Wars and Marvel, they're all over the place, aren't they? You know, and the thing about them as well, they sort of like overlap each other, don't they? You know, they do sort of like origins, then they go forward, then you come back to present and that, and the superheroes overlap and that. Oh, in the end, your brain's like that, you know. Yeah, I don't really watch all that many. I just got fed up with them. The only ones I've got my collection in regards to the Marvel are the Spider-Man, you know, the Spider-Man movies. I've got them on 4K. I'll have to revisit them. I've got the Batman as well, the first few and that, you know, but apart from that, you know, I don't really collect any of the others. I'm not a fan of Star Wars at all. But yeah, you made a good point there, Leo. It's very, very hard to go back once you've watched the series and that. Very hard to go back to the movies and that, and you know, take them seriously. Yeah, I don't think they should do that. As I said before, you know, it's just diluting the storyline more and more. Yam Yam's saying, if it's the Christopher Lee, the authorized screen history book, I have found a physical copy of it for $21.61. All right, yeah. The one I've got when he talks about his movies, that's got like a brownish color. That one, and it's a paperback. But this one, yeah, you found a physical copy. Is that on eBay? Is it, Yam Yam? You'll have to send me the link of that at the end of the stream. I'll check that out. It's Jonathan Rigby. He's the author, Jonathan Rigby. Kevin's saying, sometimes I really don't think there are any good TV horror shows now. I know, I'm the same, yeah. I've seen a couple when I've been browsing through like Amazon and Netflix. I've seen one or two which they don't sound my cup of tea. You know, there was one there, I haven't watched it yet because I didn't like the first series. The Haunting of Blythe Manor. Yeah, I read a couple of reviews of that, and it's supposed to be like a follow-up to Hill House, you know, the Shirley Jackson. But by all accounts, it's more of a love story. So the Haunting of Blythe Manor. Yeah, so I think I'll give that a miss. You know, yeah, a lot of people said it's a bit slow and a bit dull, and it's centered more on the romantic narrative rather than the supernatural narrative. So I don't think I'll be watching that one. I don't fancy that other one either, where the stories about like a technology. What's that one called? Yeah, each story to do with technology. I can't remember the name of it, but one of the YouTubers described it, and I said it's not so much supernatural; it's more like technology-based stories. So yeah, I don't think I'll be watching that one. Brian's saying, have you seen the A24 films like Hereditary and Midsommar? A lot of people say they are good, but the trailers I've seen, I've commented quite a bit on Hereditary and Midsommar. So if you've seen my videos, you know how I feel about them. I will say about Midsommar though, if they'd have cut it down to say 90 minutes, it's a beautiful looking movie. They could have done a really good job with that story, but it was a bit too long. They made the same mistake with Terrifier 2. Although it was a pretty good movie, it was too long in duration for me. What they could have done with Midsommar, they could have trimmed the fat, you know, and made it like The Wicker Man, a bit more like The Wicker Man, put a bit more horror into it, you know. It was there, the story was there, that potential, but they just missed it. It was a wasted opportunity, guys, Midsommar. But it's such a beautiful looking movie in that, you know, the woodlands and that, you know, and all the people dressed in white. But I have to say about that stupid decision they made when that fella threw himself off a cliff. What did he do? He stayed in the bloody camp, didn't he? If you joined the camp and that, you saw somebody doing a dodgy ritual like that, would he kill themselves? I'm getting the hell out of here, you know. So that was a big bugbear for me. That, you know. But other than that, they could have done a real, you know, if they sort of like tweaked it a bit, they could have made that into a good movie. Hereditary, oh, I watched that a few times, guys, and I can't really get into it, unfortunately. I seen all the hype about it when it first came out on the bus, on the bus hoardings and that, you know, Hereditary, the next Exorcist, you know. But when I watched it, and although I will say that scene where the girl, spoiler alert, girl gets decapitated was quite shocking, you know. And one or two other scenes involving the son, but I say I won't give away any more if you haven't seen it. But yeah, I couldn't really get into that, although the premise was pretty disturbing about the demon. But I thought it was a bit slow, you know. But that's just my opinion, you know, because I know a lot of people do like it. Yeah. So everybody to their own taste. Leo's saying, why do you think they have never made a movie based on a Guy and Smith book? That's a very good question, because he made loads and loads, didn't he? He was very prolific, wasn't he? Especially in the 70s and 80s and that. Yeah, it's a good point, that. Yeah, why haven't he made a movie of a Guy and Smith book? Because, as I say, loads of potential for fresh storylines. Yeah, and my favorite Guy and Smith books were the Crabs, the Night of the Crabs, and that. You know, I quite liked Death Bell as well. That was quite good. Yeah, there was a couple like he made were pretty samey, you know, they're very, very similar to the others and that. But yeah, it's a good point, that, but you never know. If any producers watching this stream, it might inspire them, you know, to go to Guy and Smith's books and have a look at his back catalogue and try and, you know, pick out a good story. So you never know, it just might happen. Lee Davis is saying, I know it's not horror, but Killers of the Flower Moon is really good. I haven't heard of that one, Lee. Is that based on a true story, or is it just like is it fiction? I haven't heard of that one. Killers of the Flower Moon. Kevin's asking me, do you have The Bloody Judge, Alan? I do. Yeah, got it on Blu-ray. I think it's an 88 film. It is. Yeah, I've got that one. It's not a bad movie. Yeah, not one of my favorite Christopher Lee movies, I grant you, but it's good. It's good. Very much in the line of the in the tradition of the Witchfinder General, you know. One of my favorite Vincent Price movies, by the way, is one of his most brutal roles as well as Matthew Hopkins. Retro saying, I heard somewhere that Amicus are returning. Yeah, they are. Making a new anthology movie, but it will remain to be seen if it will match up to the original Amicus. Because for one thing, you haven't got Cushing and Lee and all the other horror stalwarts, have you? You know, it'll be all new actors, all new stories, and I just hope they don't make. I just hope to God they don't go down the road of what the Creepshow series went down, which is absolute. That was one of the most disappointing series I have ever bought. I bought all three of those a couple of months ago. I thought the covers seduced me. I've got a bit of a weakness, guys, for the aesthetics. I've said this before. I've got a bit of a weakness for the aesthetics of a cover. And if I like the cover, it's my eye. My wallet takes a battering. You know, well, you know what I mean. You've most probably experienced that yourselves. My wallet takes a bit of a battering. And but that Creepshow, it was awful. The stories were awful. There was no sense in them. Some of them were downright silly. You know, so I just hope this new Amicus, if they make a new one, they stick to the tradition of the serious Amicus of the 70s. I don't want to be watching a Creepshow clone, you know. So I'm not holding my breath about this. I just reserve my judgments until I see the final product. Yam's saying, Alan, have you seen She Freak? I think is that the one with that was made in 1967, the Agfar label? If so, yeah, it's a lovely coloured movie. I've seen it. If so, I highly recommend watching it in black and white by turning the colour down on the telly. I prefer it in black and white. She Freak, yeah, I like the carnival settings in that. It's a lovely coloured movie. Oh God, she was a bitch, wasn't she? That woman, you know, yeah, great movie, yeah, good one. Yam's saying, And I took a picture of that Christopher Lee book. I'll send you the picture after this. Oh, thanks very much, Yam Yam. Yeah, yeah, thanks for that. And if it's the one I've been after, the updated version, I'm going to get that right away. Yeah, I've tried ages and ages to get that book. I really have. Yeah, the Jonathan Rigby one. And oh yeah, I'll definitely, if it's the one I'm after, my wallet will be taking another hit. You know, shall we say? But thanks for that. Stream. Vampire Jack, used ton. Vampire Jack, love me some guy in Smith back in the 80s and 90s. Yeah, I read him like along with James Herbert, you know, and all those authors, Chetwynd Hayes, you know, people like that. Yeah, sadly no longer with us, is he, Guy N. Smith? Yam Yam saying the bad thing about Criterion's Freaks release is that there's no new special features apart from one commentary track and one podcast, and the picture quality is not much of an improvement in my opinion. All right. Yam Yam saying again, and the price, of course. Well, yeah, pretty pricey. Kevin's saying, I'm not keen on Hammer's new Jekyll trailer. I haven't seen that one, Kev. I'll have to check that one out. That new Hammer Jekyll trailer. Brian Gilson to Kevin, I know what you mean, right? So what plans have you guys got for Halloween nights then? Are you going to embark on some door-to-door trick-or-treating? Are you going to the pub? Are you going to any parties? Yeah, discuss, let me know. Yeah, I most probably have a quiet night in, you know, watching the some horror movies and that, you know. But yeah, so yeah, let me know what you do for Halloween. I'd be very interested. Yeah, any movies you're planning on watching on Halloween, feel free to discuss. But that Halloween book, that new one that's come out, that big gigantic tiger tank of a book, it's well worth buying. If you like that David Gordon Green Halloween trilogy, I would advise you to get that book and add it to your collection. Yeah, I was looking at it in Waterstones yesterday, but it was $39.99, guys. And you can get it on Amazon for £10 cheaper, like I did with the Wicker Man. I'll do that, you know. So Yam Yam saying, also very glad to see you back doing the live, Alan. It's good to be back. It's been quite a while, hasn't it? Yeah, quite a while since last on Thursday. You're doing great as always. Oh, thanks very much, guys. I really appreciate that. Thanks very much. Yeah, I like it when people, you know, they enjoy what I do and that. You know, it makes it all worthwhile. You know, I only really started this when COVID started, you know, like something to do, like, you know, to sort of like alleviate the boredom. And I never dreamed that I'd have this many subscribers. I never dreamed I'd be doing a live chatting to everybody, you know, because I'm not a very extroverted person, you know. I like a laugh and joke as much as the next person, but I'm not one of these wild guys, if you know what I mean, and that, you know, they can't keep their mouth shut, you know. Yeah, I've enjoyed it, and I've enjoyed the experience. I always enjoy watching you guys, your videos, and that. I'm always on YouTube, see what new videos you put up, and that, go right to it and that, you know. And but as I say, I'd love to comment on everybody's video. You just can't do it. There's that many people putting good material on. You're trying to keep up with all the streams as well. But I do try, as I say, I do try to comment on as many as I can, you know. So and I also like you guys recommending movies and what I haven't seen, and vice versa. I like recommending movies to you guys what you might have seen. I get a great buzz out of that, discovering rare movies and that, you know. I'm always on Amazon, eBay looking for rare movies, rare titles, you know. And I want to say, like, I've got to mention this one again, guys. I know it might be some of your guys' cup of tea. A movie called The Sweet Sound of Death, which was made in 1965. It's a very good ghost story. You have to look at me video review of it. I've got it on my channel. Oh, really creepy. It's not a blood and gore one, but if you like your old black and white movies of the 1960s, check it out. The Sweet Sound of Death. It's got a foreign title as well, but I love it. Absolutely love it. Yeah, I love all those movies. Dementia 13, I think, was made. That was the guy, Francis Ford Coppola's first movie. That's a good one. Very much Psycho-esque. Dementia 13, Night of the Living Dead. Love that one as well. Yeah, so many great movies made in the 1960s. You know, ghost stories and that. So yeah, I love discovering rare movies. Leo's saying, I was going to take my young nephew Nephews out trick-or-treating, but they think hanging out with the family is too uncool now. Oh, right. Yeah, just shows you, doesn't it? Brian's saying, have you seen the Curse film series? No, haven't seen them. I've heard a lot about them, Brian. It's really good. It's about the films like Poltergeist and The Omen, yeah, and The Exorcist and all that. Strange things happened, didn't they, on the set. Eli Roth done a series as well, doesn't he? It was The World of Horror. I believe that's quite good. Eli Roth. Have you guys seen that one? But I'll have to check that one out. The Curse films, yes, some unpleasant incidents happened. A couple of people died, didn't they, on those movies? Strange things happened. I'll have to check that out. Curse films. Sam's asking me, what Halloween book was that, Alan? Well, basically, I can't remember the author, but it's all about the David Gordon Green Halloween trilogy. It's a massive book like that, and I forget the full title. It's basically about those 3 Halloween movies, but massive book. Look it up, type it in on Amazon, it'll come up, you know, under new releases. It's like the Wicker Man book, absolutely gigantic book about, you could use it for a bloody table, it's that big, you know. So, but if you've got to love the Halloween, David Gordon Green trilogy to sort of like to whet your appetite, basically. If they're not your cup of tea, you know, you probably won't be interested yet. But as I was reading some of it yesterday in Waterstones, and from what I've read, it's a very good book. Yeah, some interesting things in it, you never knew about. I'm looking forward to checking out my Wicker Man book. It's a lovely book. Kevin's saying, I'm working on Halloween. Just got a job at Smith's Toy Shop. At least I'll be able to afford to buy more movies. Oh, congratulations on getting your job. Yeah, great. Yeah, you'll be able to afford to buy more movies, won't you? Yeah. I tell you what, guys, is I don't know if you guys heard of the Coffin Joe franchise? Yeah, Arrow are bringing a box set out. I'm sure it's around about December. All the Coffin Joe movies. I've never seen one Coffin Joe movie in my life, but I've seen trailers on YouTube, and he's got like a top hat on him, this character and that, and he's a bit of a psycho, really, you know. And I haven't seen one Coffin Joe movie, so I might be tempted to get that for Christmas. Absolutely deluxe set, you know, like the Psycho set. So yeah, so I'll watch out for that one. The Coffin Joe, it's called. Yam saying, unfortunately, the Blackening doesn't have an official release. Oh, right. So I had to get it on bootleg from eBay. I asked the seller to make a copy. Oh, right. It's a pain, that, isn't it, when you can't get it? Brian's saying, it's my nephew's birthday on Halloween. He's going to the Edinburgh Dungeons and going to see the new Five Nights at Freddy's movie. Oh, right. Oh, hope he enjoys it. Kevin's saying, I have a Blu-ray of Dementia. I've got the Blu-ray Dementia 13. I love it. Yeah. I love all that early 1960s ambience, you know. Fantastic, yeah. And at the twist at the end and that, as you're guessing, doesn't it? Yeah. Oh, wasn't she a bitch, that one at the beginning, that blonde one, you know, in the boat? Oh, my days, she was a real evil bitch, she was, yeah. But, oh, yeah, I've always had a soft spot for that, Dementia 13. It's a good one, yeah. Yeah, good one. Richard Brown's saying, Coffin Joe is quite good, Alan Rice. Bit like Paul Nash. Oh, I'm looking forward to checking those out. Richard, the Coffin Joe franchise. Never seen them, so something to look forward to. Yeah. I'll tell you what I did enjoy, guys, the other night. I got it on 4K. One of my favourite giallo movies, Blood and Black Lace, Mario Bava one. Fantastic movie, yeah. Yeah, I got the deluxe 4K, the 4K edition. You know, really enjoyed it, even though I've seen it before. Cameron Mitchell was really on the money in that. Fantastic in that, you know, playing the manager of the boutique, the fashion boutique in that. Lovely setting, pretty gruesome murders and that. But you've got to love giallo movies, because I know some people don't like them. They're not their particular cup of tea, but I love them. Yeah, granted, there's been a few turkeys over the years. You know, there's been a bit meh, you know, but on the whole, one of my favorite giallo movies is The Bird with the Crystal Plumage from 1970, which is Dario Argento's first giallo movie. Love that movie. Susie Kendall's in it. Great fan of Susie Kendall. She's married to Dudley Moore. Yeah. Torso's another good one, another good giallo, again starring Susie Kendall. Yeah, but oh yeah, I love a good giallo movie, definitely. Kevin's saying, yes, Alan, I think Anchor Bay had Coffin Joe, right? I think they're Mexican, aren't they? I'm not too sure, Kev, to be honest. Don't really know all that much about the background, but you're probably right, yeah. Kev's saying, we watched Rebecca last night. Oh, that's great, that one. Yeah, Rebecca, it's a good one, that. Sorry, guys, the comments are stuck there. Yeah, I'm saying, fun fact, the Blair Witch Project is my #1 worst horror film of all time. I can imagine a lot of people would echo that sentiment, including. But I found this in the charity shop for about 50p, so I'm using the disc as a coaster. Best place for us. I blame that bloody film for sparing all this bloody found footage rubbish. I do not like found footage movies, period. I hate them. I really, I don't like the jerky camera. I don't like them standing there when the ghost is there instead of bloody running away. They're standing there screaming, the camera's jerking all over and that, and the mumble and that. Oh, no, I don't like them at all. I think they're the worst category of horror, the horror genre that's ever been produced, found footage, and I blame that bloody Blair Witch Project for all this. I have got the. I tell you what, I did get, guys. It was only because it was very, very cheap. The new Blair Witch one. It's just called Blair Witch. It's supposed to be. Some people said it's not. It's not as found footage as the other one, so I don't really know. Have you guys seen that? Is it the same kind of found footage narrative? Because if it is, I think I'm going to be disappointed again. But I just thought I'd pick it up, because it was so cheap and that. And if it's just a proper story like an ordinary film, I'll watch it right through. But if it's just another repetitive found footage movie on the lines of the first one, I'll think it'd be a thumbs down, I think. So, Vinny's saying, Alan, do you remember a TV show in the 70s called Ghost Stories? Ghost Stories for Christmas, I do. Yeah. Bit of a hit and miss. Some were good, some weren't. I like, my favourite one is Oh Whistle and I'll Come to You, My Lad. That was a great one, that, where he finds the flute on the beach and he takes it back to his hotel room and he plays it and his bloody ghost comes up, an apparition, like under the bed sheets. That's great, that one. Oh Whistle and I'll Come to You, My Lad. Yeah, I love that one. Yeah. Oh, yeah. They're a bit of a hit and miss then. I didn't like the remake of that with John Hurt in. Thought it was very slow. I had the DVD set of that, but I let it go because some of them I didn't like. They were very, very poor. They were very, very poor reproductions of M.R. James's classic ghost stories. So, yeah, some of them were a bit meh, So I let it go. But I must admit, though, the 2 Blu-rays are very tempting because you've got extras on them. They're bringing part 2 out, aren't they, for Christmas? Part 1 was issued a few months ago, so they're bringing part 2 out. So I don't know. I might give them another go because there is some stories on them I do like. But having said that, there's also some turkeys and some very, very bad turkeys as well. So I'll be on the fence with that at the moment, I'm afraid. Richard's saying, I've got that Arrow Blu-ray set of Blood and Black Lace. Excellent film, excellent set. Definitely, it's a good one, yeah. They did a good job at the transfer. Great special features, great acting, great story all around. I love Blood and Black Lace, yeah. Very, very worthwhile upgrade to 4K. Kevin's saying, I have Blood and Black Lace on DVD, not the best transfer. Oh, you want to get yourself a copy of the 4K, Kev? It's a lovely, lovely picture. Luke's asking me, do you like the Italian cannibal movies? I like some of them. Yeah, I like some of them. Richard Brown, Jordan Peele's films are the worst horror films ever made. I'm not a fan of Jordan Peele. No, I thought Guess Out was overrated. Us was overrated. What was that bloody ending all about in Us? Couldn't make top of the tail of that. Oh, no, I'm not a fan of him. I bought his Twilight Zone, his new series. I put it on eBay, didn't like it. Rubbish. He's a bit of, in my opinion, I know a lot of people like him, but in my opinion, he's overrated. Kevin's saying, I hate Blair Witch, horrible film. Oh, right, the one, you mean the one I've got now, Blair Witch. Oh, right. Well, you forewarned me, Kev, so I won't go into it with my expectations high. So, yeah, but I say that first Blair Witch, oh, my days, was I bored. I thought to myself, what's all the bloody fuss about, in the woods all the time and that, and even the ending, guys, it was bloody, there was nothing in it. Don't like found footage at all. Many times I've been conned. I bought a movie and from, you know, by the aesthetics of the cover and by the synopsis, and when I put it on, it's been a bloody found footage movie. Well, I've wasted no time in pressing the off switch. You know, don't like found footage. Never have. No. So not one of my favorites, I'm afraid. So I just wonder what new releases are out tomorrow, because yeah, all the new ones come out on a Monday, don't they? So, but I always watch the what's the names as well, guys. The Out and About. I watch all them. Always watch them every Monday. I love them. Yeah, seeing what all your YouTubers, when you've been out shopping, what you picked up and that, you know. Yeah, so I enjoy the Out and About. Got some more comments here, guys. Yeah, Richard's saying, Richard Brown, I watched Beware My Brethren this week. Have you seen it, Alan? Yeah. Yeah, I like it. Yeah, Patrick McGee's in it, isn't he? Yeah, it's a lovely coloured movie. Yeah, yeah, it's a good one. That Beware My Brethren. Not for everybody, because I know some people hate it, but it's on the other side of the coin, a lot of people like it, and I'm one of those people that like it. Good movie. Kevin William, no, Alan, the first one. Oh, the very first one. Yeah, the Blair Witch Project. You mean, Kev? Don't you? Yeah, the second one's just, I think it's just called Blair Witch, isn't it? Yeah, I didn't like the first one at all. Very overrated movie. I think what the thing with that, there was a lot of hype, wasn't there? It was hyped up and hyped up and hyped up on the internet, I think, wasn't it? That it was a true story, you know, when in actual fact it wasn't. It was purely a work of fiction. So I think a lot of these movies are hyped up, guys, aren't they? You know, they're going to be the new Exorcist, they're going to be the new Freddy, going to be the new Jason. You know, in the end, you said, oh, bloody hell. You know, do us a favor, like, you know. But yeah, not one of my favorites horror movies, The Blair Witch. I'll tell you another found footage one I didn't like, guys. That Gone and Jammy Asylum. And have you seen that one? Yeah, it was awful. I've done a review of that on the channel. Bloody rubbish. And the fella in it was a right bloody idiot. He was, the way he was carrying on, you know. Yeah. Yeah, he's seen something in the water. I've said this in the review. He's seen something in the water, and what was it? What was it? He's seen in the water? Was it a head or something? A floating head? It turned out to be a bloody some sort of item, like a brush, some brush head or something. I can't remember what it was, but it wasn't a bloody severed head, that's for sure. You know. But yeah, very, very disappointing movie. Gone and Jammy Asylum. I didn't like the way they were carrying on and all acting daft. That's another thing, guys, I don't like in me horror films. You get teenagers and they're like acting bloody stupid, you know, acting daft and that, you know, not really serious and that, clowning around. Oh, bloody hell. Give me Peter Cushing and Christopher Lee any day, you know. Their films were serious and that, you know. And I think they would have frowned on all this. If they'd have been in horror movies today, I think they would have said, you know, it's too much larking, too much, you know, not take it seriously. This movie and that, you know, especially Christopher Lee, you know, I don't think they'd like it, you know, but yeah, there's been far too many of these horror movies ruined by the antics of these, you know, cheap actors who they've hired and that, you know, but you can't beat the old horror stars, guys. I don't care what you say, you know, Cushing, Lee, Cheney Jr., Karloff, Lugosi, they were all great. Vincent Price, you know, they gave the horror genre that added zest, you know, and huge fan clubs, every single one of them. You know, they will be remembered forever. You know, they'll be remembered long after these have been forgotten, these ones now, you know. So, yeah, can't beat the old horror stars. Brian's saying, I enjoy watching the Blu-ray shopping videos on Monday too. Yeah, they're good, aren't they, Brian? I always watch them, yeah. The Out and Abouts. Kevin, it made a loss of money for very little outlay. Yeah, Blair Witch, yeah, can imagine. Richard's saying, have you seen Troll 2? Supposedly the worst film ever made. I haven't seen that one, Richard, no. I quite liked it. Oh, right. Well, it's all a matter of taste, isn't it, at the end of the day, you know. Right, guys, so we're going to be on till 10 o'clock, if that's okay. So, yeah, is anything at all you want to discuss, you know, about horror, you know, horror books, anything really? Yeah, just feel free to discuss. Favourite horror movies, favourite horror actors, you know. Brian's saying, Richard Brown, a documentary on the Blu-ray is good too. The Best Worst Movie, it's called, right? Richard saying Peter Cushing didn't like The Rise of Gotham. No, he didn't. He didn't like The Exorcist. He thought it was disgusting. You know, he didn't like the rise of the sex and the blood and gore and that. You know, he thought it was, vile and that. Yeah, I read that in an interview. Richard Brown to Brian Gilson. Yeah, that's what I watched. But I've definitely got to get that Peter Cushing box set, guys. It looks a cracker. Absolutely does, you know. The movies, I've never seen them before. You know, so I'm really looking forward to getting that, you know, definitely on my radar. Vinny's saying, you're right, Alan, you can't beat the old horror movies like The Omen, The Shining, and American Werewolf in London, in my opinion. Is right. Yeah, definitely. Oh, I love me classics, you know, go back to them again and again. So good. American Werewolf, oh, that's one of the greatest werewolf movies I've ever made. It really is, you know, right up there with Lon Chaney Jr.'s Wolfman. You know, I love everything about American Werewolf. And I thought the, pretty much like Abbott and Costello meet Frankenstein, I thought the human and horror was balanced well, quite even, and that, you know, they did a good job with that. And the transformation scene, the most painful transformation scene I have ever seen in werewolf movie history. Do you agree with me, guys? Oh, God, you could actually feel his agony as he was changing and that, you know. Oh, yeah, fantastic movie, Dad. He done a great job on that movie, didn't he, John Landis, American Werewolf in London. And the part his mate kept coming back from the dead all the time, and he looked more faded and faded and faded. Yeah, classic. And, of course, Jenny Agutter was great as the love interest, wasn't she? And the nightmares he had, you know, opening the door and those like Nazi like ape things, you know, the machine guns and that. Oh yeah, great, yeah. The part that made me laugh and that was where he changed back to normal, and he was naked, wasn't he? He put a bloody woman's coat on. he was standing in the bus stop queue with the bloody woman's coat on. Everyone was looking at him and that, you know. Oh, it always tickles me. Oh, watch that, you know. He got the bloody woman's coat on. He's naked under the coat. Yeah, I love the part at the end, the climax as well at the end. In the streets and that, fantastic. And the werewolf was really scary, wasn't it? The way it, you know, roamed through the streets and that. Oh yeah, ripping everybody to bits and that. You know, werewolf on all fours. You know, usually the Wolfman, he's sort of like, he's basically on his two legs, isn't he? But this one, they've got a name for that, haven't they? Is it a biped creature where they walk on all fours? Very, very well done. I love the part in the train station as well. The businessman, oh, that's terrified me. That when I first watched it, and that he's running up the escalator and that, and the werewolf's padding, isn't it, like that? Oh, absolute classic American Werewolf. I absolutely love that movie. Just like I love Lon Chaney Jr. as the Wolfman. Well, I've said this before about Lon Chaney, just his face and that, the expression on his face. He had that tortured expression, didn't he? You know, he was really, he actually thought he was a werewolf. He was that good at it. You know, he was going everywhere looking for a cure and that, wringing his hands and that, you know. Dr. Frankenstein, the gypsy woman, everybody tried to help him, but to no avail. But in the end, he finally got his cure. He got a happy ending, didn't he, in the House of Dracula, you know. But, oh, yeah, Lon Chaney Jr. Of course, he came back again, didn't he, in 1948 for the Abbott and Costello, which I regard as more of a homage. You know, I don't really like to think he reverted back to his lycanthropy. I like to think he had a happy ending, Talbot. But they stuck him in for that one. It was basically like another universe. You know, like they're doing like now with the Marvel universes. What if you get me drift? What if Lon Chaney Jr. was still the Wolfman? And what if he was ringing up Abbott and Costello to warn them about Frankenstein and Dracula being in this guy's chamber of horrors? What if? It's kind of a what if movie, isn't it? Yeah. But I always like to think Talbot was finally cured, because he died a few times, didn't he, in his movies? He got his head battered in by his dad in the first one. He got shot in the belly in the House of Frankenstein. He got drowned with the Frankenstein monster in Frankenstein Meets the Wolfman. So he had a few deaths, didn't he? He always turned up, though, didn't he? That's what I mean. I've said it before, guys, about character and horror characters. Talbot had Lon Chaney Jr. done a great job of giving depth to that character. And if a horror character hasn't got depth, you're onto a loser. You know, Norman Bates had depth, didn't he? You know, Psycho. You know, you hated him, but at the same time, you felt, well, kind of sorry for him. He was trying to be normal, wasn't he? But he had his illness sort of like overtook it, didn't it? Like basically like Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. You know, very, very hospitable one moment. The next minute he could snap. you know. So yeah, I think I say again is another good example. Hannibal Lecter, Anthony Hopkins, he had depth to his character, didn't he? He was in the cell and that, and he's very intelligent and that, you know, Clarice, but he had this like ravenous, you know, animalistic streak he couldn't control. Interesting character again. It all comes down to what Stephen King said and all about interesting horror characters. If the character isn't interesting, you know, you're onto a loser. Basically, the story's going to be crap, you know. So I think character does make horror, as indeed it does in most other movies. Look at the Man with No Name. He had depth of character, didn't he? Depth of character is very, very important. Nuances revolving around character is very, very important. And if you haven't got that, if you're writing stories with cardboard characters, like a lot of these teenage movies where they sort of like just get bumped off in the woods, you've got, you know, just there's nothing different. There's nothing outstanding about your movie. You've got to have character. You know, that's what makes the heart of a horror movie for me. Brian, sorry, Brian, I just missed your comment there. Brian's saying the scene in the underground is a great scene. Yeah. American Werewolf in London, really atmospheric. Yeah. Oh yeah, fantastic. So many memorable scenes, and one of the most terrifying ones is where they come out the pub, and you know, his mate gets ripped to shreds, doesn't he, by the wolf, and he's screaming and that. You'd actually think it's happening, you know, with all the blood and that, you know. Oh, really, one of the most horrific scenes in horror movie history. That. I love the scene in The Wolfman as well, where Talbot batters the werewolf to death with the cane and that, you know, and in the process he gets bitten, doesn't he? Oh yeah, fantastic. Yeah, he saves the girl, doesn't he? But of course he gets inflicted with the curse and that. Yeah, so that was the birth of the Wolfman. Brian Gilson, Richard Brown. It's an interesting documentary, right? Richard Brown, Brian Gilson. I felt a bit sorry for the director. They were quite patronising to him, I thought, right? Kevin saying, I love House of Frankenstein as well. I've lost count, Kev, at the times I've watched that movie. First watched it in 1969 on the old black and white. I often refer to the old black and white telly where I watched all my horror movies on. I love this. I love it to this day. I don't care what anybody says about some part is corny. I love it. I love everything about it. I love Karloff playing Dr. Namon, Gustav Namon. I love Daniel, the hunchback, Lon Chaney Jr. comes back as the Wolfman. Frankenstein monster, Glenn Strange, the little gypsy girl who Talbot and Daniel are vying for her affections and that, you know, and the way she turns Daniel down, you know, oh, you're ugly, I hate you, because she goes for Talbot, doesn't she? Nice bit of character development there. Love House of Frankenstein. Boris Karloff, although he wasn't playing the monster, by God, did he play that Nemon fantastically. He was really evil, and the way he sort of when Talbot grabbed hold of him and said, "You promised me, you cure me," and that, you know, he's very calm, and he's a little bit aloof, isn't he, Karloff, and that, you know, he's a snidey bugger, you know, all round, isn't he, Dr. Gustav Namon? You know, he murders the Professor Lampini, gets Daniel to murder him, strangle him, and he takes over the Chamber of Horrors, which has got Dracula's skeletal corpse, hasn't it, with the stake in, and Karloff pulls it out and that, you know, and he sort of like wants to control Dracula basically. But oh yeah, I love House of Frankenstein. I love all of them, all the monster bashes. I never get tired of them. And I always, you know, they're my number one horror go-tos. The Universal movies and of course the Hammer movies as well. So many. I love the Gypsy Woman as well and the Wolfman movies, although she was only in 2. Maria Auspensky. I love her. Evelyn Ankers was a great love interest for Talbot. Very, very sad though. You know, he was destined not to happen, was he? But oh yeah, love all those Universal movies. Absolutely, and that's why I'm collecting them now in 4K. I want the best quality. You know, I've had them in many, many formats, and I've kept all of them. Kept the DVDs, I've got the Blu-rays, but I'm getting the 4Ks now because I want them in the best possible format. Absolute classics. Richard Brown saying, what about the House of Whipcord? Love the House of Whipcord. Sheila Keith, very, very sinister as the sort of like military governess of that, you know, out of the way establishment that punishes their girls and that, you know, what the courts can't punish properly. Oh yeah. Very, very brutal. I love Sheila Keith. Absolutely love her. Real villain. They called her the Distaff Karloff. Distaff means the female Boris Karloff. You know, she was a fantastic actress. Sheila Keith. Yeah. Really good. Yeah. Very, very, very underrated actress, in my opinion. Brian saying to Richard Brown, I totally agree. I felt sorry for him when he arrived after screening and got escorted out. Right. Kevin's asking me, do you like House of Dracula 2? By George, I like the House of Dracula. Oh, yeah. And especially the fact that Lawrence Talbot finally gets cured of his lycanthropy affliction by Dr. Franz Edelman, but who turns into a monster himself, actually. Excuse me. He turns into a monster. If you've seen the movie, Kev, you know what I mean. He gets infected by Dracula's blood. He turns into a monster. So by a strange quirk of fate, the one that cures Talbot of his werewolf affliction actually becomes a monster himself. He looks into the mirror and his face goes all evil. He gets this black under his eyes, like Mr. Hyde, and it's great. I love them all. There's not one bad one. It was like the only Universal movies, Kev, I'm not really keen on are the I'm not fussy on Dracula's Daughter. I didn't really like that one. Not really a great fan of the Mummy series. I think they're a bit samey then, the Mummy. I like the Creature from the Black Lagoon. I love them. Yeah, got the 4K of that on order. But my favourites are Frankenstein, Wolfman and Dracula. They're my top three, and I could have gone on watching them till the cows come home, but it was nice to see Talbot get cured in the end, wasn't it? And he got the girl as well. Always had the bonus. He got the girl, yeah. And he sported a moustache and that, didn't he? Elon Shane. He's just showing how many years he's been a Wolfman, starting to show his age. He had a moustache, a pencil moustache, and he turned up looking very dapper in his suit and that, dark shirt and pale tie and that, yeah. So, but he always wore that shirt, didn't he? With the breast pockets in, every Wolfman movie. Indeed, even in the I seem to remember Abbott and Costello, he had a very similar shirt on and that. What he wore right through he must have loved that shirt, mustn't he? And he never ripped it once, did he? So this is why some people think they're corny. I mean, they turn into a Wolfman. He'd have ripped his clothes to shreds. Yeah, well, you can forgive that just for the sheer entertainment value. You can turn a bit of a blind eye to it now, just for the sheer entertainment value of the movies, because they were entertaining, no question. And I always used to get excited when you were on, every Monday night, and again in the 70s. The double bill on a Saturday night. I'm saying the Criterion has imported the Freaks DVD special features with only tattered commentary and one podcast. I just wish they put a lot more features on. Sadly, Criterion asks too much for their releases, right? Yeah. Very expensive, that Freaks Blu-ray, isn't it? Very expensive. Vinny's asking me, what do you think about Carry On Screaming, Alan? It's my favourite Carry On movie, Vinny. I love it. Vanilla Fielding, of course, in that little tight red dress, what all the fellas liked, Kevin Williams, yeah. Brian Too Nice. Love it. That's my favourite one. I love it, yeah. I've got the Blu-ray of that. Odd Bod, Harry H. Corbett, all fantastic actors. Great. I love Carry On Screaming. Kevin's saying, I would have loved Hammer to have done a horror comedy like Horror on the Buses. Yeah, well, he actually done On the Buses. And I don't know if you know, Kev, but they're bringing out On the Buses on Blu-ray, the 3 movies. And just after Christmas, though, the 28th of December, they should have brought it out before, shouldn't they? They might push it forward, mightn't they? I'll definitely be getting that. That's On the Buses Blu-ray set. I love On the Buses. Kevin, Werewolf of London had 2 werewolves in love. That one. Oh, you mean the one with Henry Hull in? It was made, and it was at 1935. Yeah. Werewolf of London. Yeah, Henry Hull. Yam. I'm very old-fashioned. I like staying in with my dogs and watching mostly horror films. I don't blame you. Yeah, there's not really much in the way of entertainment now. A lot of the clubs have closed down. Where I live in Birkenhead, used to be quite a few nightclubs. They've all gone. They've only got a few pubs now. If you want your entertainment, you've got to go over to Liverpool, to all the Irish pubs and that, I was in Liverpool yesterday. I always go over on a Saturday afternoon and do my Blu-ray hunting. Matthew Street's invariably packed out, very, very lively. The home where the Beatles were born. Matthew Street, yeah, always buzzing with activity, but Liverpool is the best place to go now if you want a really good night out. Yeah, I had a good night out the other last Monday. Went to the Irish Centre, my relatives, and I enjoyed it. Saw Mike Denver and Brendan Shine. It was very good, nice atmosphere. Yeah, it used to be the Irish Centre. They moved it now further up, away from town. But I enjoyed it. It was a good night, yeah. But yeah, the entertainment now, the discos are not virtually non-existent. A lot of people go to fun pubs now, don't they? You know, you can have just as much a good night out in a pub or a band on, as much as we used to go to those noisy discos, you know. So yeah, it's gone very bad now. Birkenhead's there's no clubs there now, just the odd pub. Richard's saying, I got the 88 Films Maniac Special Edition Blu-ray last week. That's a good edition. I've got that one, Richard. It's a very good edition. Yeah, Carol Monroe's in that, isn't she? One of my favourite actresses, the lovely Carol Monroe. Kevin's saying, love On the Buses. I love On the Buses as well. It's my all-time favourite 70s comedy series. I love the movies. I love the characters. I could sit here all night spouting superlatives of how much I love On the Buses. I've got the whole series on the DVD, the green box. Yeah, love On the Buses, Man About the House, Frank Spencer, bless this. I grew up with all of them. They were such a big staple of my teen years, you know, in the 70s, watching all them, having me tea and that, and settling down on the sofa and watching them and that. Absolutely love them, yeah. Classics. My favourite On the Buses episode is the one where, I think I've said this before, where Stan's is dating Inspector Blake, his niece, played by Madeline Mills, and she's nice, like you want to see her. Oh, she's absolute stunner, you know, long blonde hair and that, you know, legs up to here, and the buses, you know, the clippy uniform on and that, you know. Jack sees, like, oh, his eyes pop out of his head and that, you know. But that's a good one. That it doesn't, sadly, it doesn't come. Stan's romance doesn't come to fruition, you know. But she was in 2 episodes, and the inspector's niece and Going Steady, and I like that one where Stan gets drunk with the home brew. I think it's Arthur's home brew, and he goes into work drunk. And Jack says, we've got to sober you up. So he takes him into the canteen and he stuffs all mashed potato down his mouth. Have you seen that one, guys? That's a good one, that. And there's so many good episodes in that. The part when he put Inspector Blakey in the motorcycle sidecar and he's stuck and he can't get out. I'll get you, butler. I'll get you, butler. Yeah, I love On the Buses. Absolute timeless. Reg Varney, one of the greatest comedy characters, and Stan Butler I have ever seen. Love it. Absolutely love it. Brian Gilson. It would have been amazing if the Hammer Films did films like The House of Frankenstein. Yeah, definitely. I'll tell you what would have been amazing, Brian. You know do you know the very first Christopher Lee Dracula movie from 1958? I know they were on a very, very limited budget. They had budgetary restraints. But wouldn't it have been great if they've included the part where Dracula boarded the Demeter and he killed all the crew? Imagine Christopher Lee and that on the boat and that, you know, raising his hands and that and going after the crew and that, and his fangs bared, and that would have been awesome, that, you know. But obviously with budgetary restraints, he could only put so much in the story, you know, and then he tweaked a little bit, didn't he, with Jonathan Harker? Because in the book, if you've read Dracula, Jonathan Harker goes to Castle Dracula to do a business deal with the Count, whereas in the movie he goes to kill him. He's a kind of Van Helsing character, you know, so a big difference there, you know. So yeah, I would have loved to have seen that Demeter scene in the Christopher Lee Dracula movies, and that, you know, where Dracula comes to England on the Demeter. So I'm looking forward to watching that one, the new one. Vinny, what's about the Hammer horror film with David Prowse? Oh yeah, the Horror of Frankenstein, 1970, and Frankenstein and the Monster from Hell. I love them. Yeah, I love David Prowse. Yeah, fantastic. He played Darth Vader, didn't he, in Star Wars? Yeah, he's great, David Prowse. I love those movies. I know the Horror of Frankenstein is it's kind of like a spoof, isn't it, really? But Ralph Bates is really nasty as the Baron, you know, in Peter Cushing's absence and that. Well, of course, Cushing returned, didn't he, to play Frankenstein one last time in Frankenstein and the Monster from Hell. But Ralph Bates did a great job playing Victor Frankenstein. And then you had the lovely Veronica Carlson, didn't you? Playing the love interest. Yeah, she's lovely, Veronica Carlson. Sadly, no longer with us. One of me, you know, I think she's my favourite Hammer girl. And there were many lovely Hammer girls, but Veronica Carlson, number one. Lovely, lovely lady. And she always went to the horror conventions as well, you know, meeting the fans and signing autographs. I love Veronica Carlson. Sorry, guys, the comments are just there. Kevin's saying 88 Films are becoming a really good label now. I agree. Yeah, very good, very top class products they're releasing. Richard saying, what about the new Hammer film with Eddie Izzard as Dr. Jekyll? It looks awful. Yeah, I haven't seen any trailers of that, Richard, so I can't read the comments, but a couple of people said it's not much cop. Yeah, so yeah, I don't think he'll ever, to be honest, Richard, I don't think he'll ever reproduce the brilliance of the original Hammer. You know, I don't think that will ever be done. You know, they were great movies, them. All the care and attention that put to those scripts, the characters, Christopher Lee, Peter Cushing, you know, people like that made that. Michael Ripper, you know, a much loved Hammer stalwart. Yeah, if he wasn't playing a barman, he's playing a copper. You know, so I love Michael Ripper. He always popped up, didn't he, in the Hammer films? But beautiful women, lovely, lush gothic settings. Christopher Lee, the most terrifying Dracula ever to appear on screen, in my opinion. The only Dracula that scared me when I was a kid. No other Dracula scared me, but Lee scared me, by George, he did when I was a. Of course, now I'm used to him. Now I've seen him that many times. But when I was a kid growing up, and I first saw him with his fangs and his bloodshot eyes, it terrified the life out of me. You know. So yeah, and of course Peter Cushing, Baron Frankenstein, who was at times more evil than the monster. Oh, they were classics. They really were. Kevin's saying the On the Buses I like is a TV set one, and the fish and chips supper. So many great episodes. Yeah, I love it. And the part where they pretended to be airline pilots, wasn't it? They tried to chat these girls up in the bar, and he kidded them up. They were airline pilots. That's a good one. Yeah. Kevin's saying it's a pity Dracula was made in the 50s and not in the early 60s. When they did all the pirate movies, and they might have been able to do that scene, Alan. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, good point there, Kev. Yeah, a nautical scene. Yeah, with the pirates, it's sort of like blending the narrative of the pirates and Dracula. Yeah, good points. Brian says, I agree, Alan. It would have been great to see him on the ship. Yeah, as Hammer films are good. That set in the atmosphere and would have done it well. Yeah, I've always well, not wondered, because I knew they were subject to budgetary restraints, but would have always loved to have seen Lee doing that role on the Demeter. You know, God, just imagine, the captain, you know, killing all the crew and that, and then the captain strapped to the wheel and that. You know, oh yeah, definitely, because he was, as I say, he was terrifying as Dracula, no question. And the way he spoke as well, his voice and that, you know, very, very deep, very deep voice and that, you know, he had everything to play Dracula, everything. Richard's saying Eddie Izzard plays Dr. Jekyll as a woman. All right, talking about feminine narratives pertaining to the Dr. Jekyll story. What do you guys think of Dr. Jekyll and Sister Hyde with Ralph Bates? I think it's fantastic. It really is. Yeah, they did a real good job with that. Martine Beswick played the woman, Miss Hyde. Yeah, I like the way they got the sort of like likeness there, Ralph Bates's face and Martine Beswick. You could swear they were brother and sister. You know, love Martine Beswick. Yeah, yeah, of course Ralph Bates, he was fantastic in the role of Jekyll. But Dr. Jekyll and Sister Hyde is one of my favorites Hammer movies from the 1970s. They did a real good job with that. I like another Dr. Jekyll movie I like, guys. It's not Hammer, but it's Amicus. It's a movie called I, Monster, starring Christopher Lee. But what they done with that, they changed the names. They changed the what was the name of the characters in that? It wasn't Jekyll and Hyde. It was a Blake, Marlowe and Blake instead of Jekyll and Hyde. Yeah, I don't know why they done that, but that's a very enjoyable one. That I, Monster. I'll tell you what I didn't like, guys, going on to broaching the subject of TV series. I didn't like that Jekyll series that was out a few years ago on BBC One. Was it James Nesbitt? The fella who's in that advert and he said to the dog, sit. You know the fella I mean, don't you? Is it James Nesbitt? He was in it, yeah. I didn't like that one at all. All right, guys, we've got 20 minutes to go, so I'll be finishing at 10. So it's been great to be back tonight. I really enjoyed it. And that, you know, special Halloween show. And thanks to everybody. And if you want to, you know, get your questions in, ask me anything you like, even about me writing as an author, films I like, films I don't like, anything at all pertaining to the world of horror. And if you want to ask something outside of horror, that's fine, within reason, of course. Yeah. So yeah, just keep keep the comments coming. Vampire Jack says, hopefully new Hammer will give us more Dracula movies. Yeah, well, I tell you what, if they made new Dracula movies, Christopher Lee would take some beating. I would be very, very, very surprised if you got another actor that would rival Christopher Lee playing Count Dracula. Now that's my opinion. You know, I'm a real staunch Christopher Lee fan, especially when he plays Dracula. So I would be very, very surprised if he got a Dracula, you know, to live up to his achievements playing that role. He was just brilliant in that role. Kevin William Wardle. Hammer had some great people working behind the scenes. They did indeed have some great people working behind the scenes. And from all the interviews that I've seen in the extras, they were like one big family, you know, one big happy family, you know. The producers, director, they were all nice and that, you know, fantastic and that, you know, Terence Fisher, all those and that, Roy Ward Baker, all people like that, did fantastic jobs with those Hammer movies. As I said, he said it was like one big family, you know. Richard's saying, have you seen Dr. Jekyll's Women? No. Kevin's saying Sister Hyde is great. Yeah, a good twist, definitely better than the Two Faces of Dr. Jekyll, in my opinion. Yeah, definitely better than the Two Faces of Dr. Jekyll, which didn't have much horror in it. What I didn't like about the Two Faces of Dr. Jekyll, I thought it was a bit corny. Dr. Jekyll was he had the beard, didn't he? He had glasses on and thick hair and that, and he made him like, when he turned into Mr. Hyde, he made him like this dashing young man, this dashing young dandy about town, didn't he? You know, I forget the name of the fella that played him. He's like he got fair hair and that, you know. I can't remember his name, but it wasn't scary at all. That was one of the worst Dr. Jekyll movies I've ever seen. That Two Faces of Dr. Jekyll. But as I say, Dr. Jekyll and Sister Hyde is an absolute classic, you know. And it brought a touch of something different, didn't it, to the Robert Louis Stevenson story. Yeah, I love Dr. Jekyll and Sister Hyde. Brian's asking me, what did you think of the Two Faces of Dr. Jekyll, Christopher Lee? I know, yeah. I just said, Brian, I didn't like it. Yeah, not one of my favourites at all. Kevin, I'm pleased the idiots kept it waiting. So am I. Yeah, so am I. Kevin William Wardle, who could play Dracula today? The BBC Dracula was very poor. I didn't like that one. That 3-part one, but I did like the Louis Jordan one from 1977. I will do a review of that. I'm hoping to watch that. I'd like to see that get a Blu-ray release. So Arrow, Vinegar Syndrome, if you're watching, get that one out on Blu-ray or even 4K. The Louis Jordan 1977 Dracula. Love that one. He was very good, Louis Jordan. Very good actor. Yeah, I love that one. But I didn't like that bloody one a few years ago that was on in 3-part. That was bloody rubbish. That absolute crap it was. One of the worst Draculas I've ever seen in my whole blooming life. Vampire Jack, which Hammer film would you like to see remade? Oh, that's tough. That is a good, really tough question. Which Hammer film would you like to see remade? I don't think I'd like to see any Hammer film remade because they were all classics, and I don't think if they remade a Hammer film, I don't think they'd do it justice. Say they remade Frankenstein, it'd have to be as good as Peter Cushing, you know, to sort of like I suppose they could do something different with it, couldn't he? Not sort of like copy Peter Cushing, but even Dracula, if they made Dracula, they'd have to get somebody that came close to Christopher Lee as possible, which I think would be very difficult, you know. From some of the modern incarnations I've seen of Dracula, I have not been impressed with at all. I didn't like that bloody one, that Dracula, that Francis Ford Coppola one, Gary Oldman. I did not like that at all. It didn't look like Dracula. It was more of a bloody love story, that. Top hat on him, glasses and that. Oh no, didn't look anything like Dracula at all. Didn't like that one. But I know some people do like it. Some people hate it. It's a Marmite movie, but I didn't like it. Hated it. Wasn't fussy on the Jack Palance Dracula either. I didn't think he was suited to playing Dracula himself. But yeah, they'd have to do a very good job. You know, if they made a Hammer film, they'd have to be very, very good, very, very, you know, careful. You know, they didn't make a complete dog's breakfast of it, as they have done with a lot of these remakes. Kevin's saying The Man Who Could Cheat Death is good. That's the one with Anton Differing in, isn't it? I saw that years ago. I can't remember too much about it, Kev. I'll have to get that one. I haven't got that one. He was good in Circus of Horrors, wasn't he? Anton Differing, if you've seen that one. Circus of Horrors, great in that. Richard Brown, Benedict. Who's that? Benedict Cumberbatch. I never. Who's the bloody house Benedict? Who the bloody house Benedict Cumberbatch? When he's out, I never heard of him. Benedict Cumberbatch is Dracula. Who's Benedict? Is this a wind up? Benedict Cumberbatch. Does anybody know who Benedict Cumberbatch is? Because I certainly don't know. God, Benedict Cumberbatch. Kevin's saying the 77 Dracula was superb. Yeah. Never seen it since 1977. Well, I've got the DVD of that, Kev. So I've got to give it another watch, like I say, just since I watched it, and I'll do a review of it. So stay tuned for that. Richard's saying, weren't they trying to do a new Quatermass in the pit? Oh, I don't know, were they? First I've heard. Yeah. Vampire's saying, Vampire Jack, Tom Hiddleston would be a great Frankenstein. Don't know him. Don't know him, Tom Hiddleston. Don't really follow a lot of these actors now. Some of them I don't know. The films don't appeal to me, so you know, wouldn't know they were. Yam Yam, if COVID didn't happen, do you think he still would have started? I don't know. I don't know. If COVID didn't happen, do you think he still would have started YouTube? Don't know. Can't answer that question. I might have done. Don't know. Brian Gilson. Mary Shelley's Frankenstein was good. Mary Shelley's are you talking about the one with Robert De Niro in? Wasn't bad. Wasn't great. It wasn't bad. One of my favorites is Frankenstein: A True Story with Leonard Whiting and Michael Sarrazin. Any of you guys seen that? That's a great one, that. Yeah, and he starts off when he makes him, he thinks he's made the perfect young man, but then he starts decaying slowly and that, and he turns into this monstrous, horrible creature, and that, you know, he slaughters his wife, kills his wife, Frankenstein's wife on the ship, and he just becomes pure evil in that, you know. But it's great, that one, Frankenstein: A True Story. And you even get Leonard Whiting singing at the end there, that song that You Don't Know Me, you know, that you gave your heart to me. That one, it's good. He had a good voice, Leonard Whiting, yeah. He sings that good. You Don't Know Me, yeah. It's in the extras on the Blu-ray, yeah. Vinny, what did you think about It Ain't Half Hot, Mum? It was on a lot, wasn't it, in the 70s? I never really followed it much, to be honest. No, I didn't really follow it. But I remember Windsor Davis. We will not have gossip in this jungle. And the Whispering Grass got to #1, didn't he, in the summer of 1975. Speak your word, sing lofty. He had a fantastic, real deep Welsh baritone voice. He had, didn't he, Windsor Davis? Yeah, I will not have gossip in this jungle, lovely boy. Terrible impression, I know. Yeah, but he was in Never the Twain as well, wasn't he, Windsor Davis? I've never seen that, so I'll have to check that out. Never the Twain. Yam Yam is saying, that Benedict guy, his mum was gorgeous in her prime. She's also an actress, Wanda Benson. All right. Kevin's saying Benedict Cumberbatch is Wanda Veteran's son, I think. I wouldn't know, Kev. As I say, some of these modern actors, I couldn't tell you. Couldn't even tell you what film they were in, because some of them, these ones that's come out now, the real latest ones. I mean, I couldn't tell you anything about them because I don't know them. Benedict Cumberbatch is, yeah. Yes, I say. Right, 10 minutes to go, guys. I've enjoyed it coming back tonight. Yeah, thanks everybody for turning up. Been a great little Halloween special. Cheers. So I don't know when the next live one will be. I don't think it'll be this Thursday, but I'll put a thumbnail up anyway and let you all know. You know, I'll let you all know when I'll be back again. So hopefully it shouldn't be too long before I'll be back, because I do enjoy doing them, that, talking to you all on that. You know, it's good to all get together and discuss our #1 topic. You know, horror movies and that. But yeah, but I've enjoyed it. It's great. You know, you're coming back and that. You know, talking to you all on that about movies, horror movies. I hope you all have a nice Halloween anyway, whatever you decide to do. You know, Brian, Windsor Davis was good and Carry On Camping. Yeah, that's got the notorious scene, hasn't it, where Barbara Windsor's you know what flies off. Yeah. Yam Yam, It Ain't Half Hot, Mum. Is that the series with the antique shop? It Ain't Half Hot, Mum was about the soldiers in the jungle. I think it was in the 1950s, wasn't it? Windsor Davis was the Sergeant Major, and you had Lofty, you know, he sang with him on Whispering Grass. Yeah. You mean the Antique Shop? Do you mean that series with Ian McShane and Lovejoy? Or do you mean something else? Yeah. Richard's saying Carry On Behind. Yeah. Good film. Yeah. Any of you guys members of Shudder, the horror TV channel, have you seen any good movies on there lately? I know they've released a couple of the movies on Blu-ray, haven't they? I've had a couple of them, but I haven't been very impressed with them. I cancelled my membership of Shudder, you know, because some of the movies, like, they didn't really appeal to me, you know. So I'd be very interested to hear, you know, if you're a member of Shudder, can you recommend any new good horror movies? Never the Twain was the Antique Shop. That's right. Yeah. I don't know much about Never the Twain. As I said, I've never really watched an episode right through. I remember the catchy theme tune and Donald Sinden, but I've never watched an episode right through. But you can get it on DVD, I believe. Yam Yam saying Benedict Cumberbatch is a soft name. No, Benedict Batch of Benedict Batch of Cucumbers. That's how I remember his name. That's what she said. Vinny, I just want to say a big thank you to you, Alan, for coming back. We all miss you. Oh, thanks very much, Vinny. Yeah, I've missed you guys as well. Talking's all live. Yeah, you really know your horror movies. Oh, thanks very much. Well, I like to think I do. I don't know everything. I don't profess to be an arbiter of everything, but I do my best. You know, I've read about horror movies. I've not only watched them, I've read about them. You know, loads and loads of times, quite extensively. I used to get the famous Monsters of Filmland magazine. Any of you guys remember that, by Forrest J. Ackerman? I got a lot of information from that on the horror movies. I used to buy the Hammer magazine in the 70s. You know, the House of Hammer. That was a great magazine. Yeah, so all those and that. You know, I got by the Dark Side now. That's my #1 horror magazine, the Dark Side. And then I get Scream now and again. So that fills me on all the horror related stuff and that, you know. So yeah. Oh yeah, I love horror. That's my #1 subject, horror. Only when it's done well, though. Yam Yam. Richard Brown. Thanks, my old man. Likes that one. I've not seen it before. Nice. Brian saying, it's great having you back. Really enjoy your lives. Oh, thanks very much, Brian, mate. Yeah, cheers, mate. And talking to you and everyone. Yeah, it's been a good night, hasn't it? Yeah, it's been a great night. Yeah, I've enjoyed it. Yeah, definitely. Yeah. So as I say, guys, I'll be going off at 10 o'clock. So if you want to get your questions in or comments, I'll respond to as many as I can before I turn in for the night. So yeah, I've enjoyed it. It's been great. I wanted to do a Halloween special. You know, I had it planned for the last couple of weeks or so and that, you know, because I haven't been on for you know, oh God, I can't remember the last time I was on. Was it early September? I can't remember. It's been a few weeks, hasn't it? But oh yeah, I've enjoyed it. And that, you know, as I say, like it's great talking to you guys. It's like socializing, isn't it? I'm gonna get together in the pub. Next best thing to getting together in the pub, around a few drinks and talking about movies and that. It's great. It's great. All this when you can talk to people live and that, you know, on YouTube and that about about your interests and that. And as I say, seen some great videos lately from some of you guys and that. You really know your stuff when it comes to putting a good video together, talking about, you know, your favorite movies, your top 10s, favorite decades, or love all that, you know, love all those videos. I really enjoyed it. Yeah, it's been great. We've got Caleb saying Starlog magazine was great back then. So I remember Starlog, and I remember Starburst as well. I bought a couple of issues of those. Starburst, yeah. So there you go. Yeah, so as I say, the Wicker Man book, what I bought today, I'll be doing a review of that sometime in the very near future. And when I get the Halloween book, I'll show you guys that as well. So as I say, whatever you've got planned for Halloween, you know, hope you enjoy it and that, you know, whatever you decide to do, parties or whatever and that, you know, and stay safe. For goodness sake, stay safe. You know, these bloody nutters that's going around now and that, you know, acting the ghost and that, you know, causing damage and that, you know, just take care of yourselves if you go out and that, you know. I think they should be thrown in a bloody cell and the key thrown away them. Richard Brown, watched Lover's Lane yesterday. You didn't like it, did you? I didn't like it. No. I wanted to like it, like, it looked a good movie and that, you know. I love the aesthetics. I always say this about movies, that the cover, the aesthetics drew me in and that, you know. But sometimes the movie's story isn't commensurate with the beauty of the cover, if you know what I mean. So yeah, it was a major disappointment, that Lover's Lane. Yam, I'm not a Shudder member, but I do have 8 of them on Blu-ray. Right? Any particular favourites among those, Yam? Brian, hope you and your mum have a great Halloween. Oh, thanks very much, Brian. Same to you. Are you watching any films tonight or tomorrow? We might watch the live stream back later on, you know. We're always doing that, and we don't do that. Maybe watch Infinity Pool and do a review of that, you know. If you don't watch it tonight, we'll watch it tomorrow. Infinity Pool. Yeah, I've heard good things about that. Mia Goth. So I didn't like Pearl, though. I wasn't a fan of those, Pearl and that, the other one as well. So yeah, but I'll see what she's like in this one anyway. Infinity Pool. Kevin saying Starburst was great. It was, yeah. I remember he'd done quite a few good features on some of the horror movies that came out in the 80s. I seem to remember they did a fantastic feature on Psycho 2 when it came out. Yeah. So oh yeah, it was good. Starburst, very good. It was a very good magazine. KN, hi Alan, have you seen Mumsy, Nanny, Sonny and Gay? I want that one. Yeah, I've been after that one for ages. It's a kind of an odd horror thriller directed by Freddie Francis. Yeah, every time I've looked for that, it's been astronomically priced. You know, can't rent it on Amazon. Yeah, I want that one. So at the minute it comes down in price, I'll be sending for that. Yeah. Mumsy, Nanny, Sunday and Gaily. Yeah, it's a kind of an, yeah. The name, like the name's a bit weird, isn't it? Yeah, but I wanted to see that one. Yeah. Kevin's saying that was Amicus, wasn't it? Which one was that, Kev? Yam is saying my favourite Shudder horror is Caveat. I personally love that one. Filmed during COVID with a very small cast of about 4 or 5. I've seen that one, and I regret to say I didn't enjoy it, but I'm glad you liked it anyway. You know, all got our own different tastes, haven't we? And I think it was Kevin Rice. Kevin's saying I really want to see that. Yeah. Richard Brown, Infinity Pool is very weird. Oh, right. So as long as it's got a good story, you know. Yam. This community on this channel is great, kind of like a little family. It is, isn't it? Yeah, it's great. Yeah. As I say, I always enjoy talking to you guys and that whenever I can and that, talking about movies and that. It's very enjoyable, very, very nice people here. KN, the release of that Pete Walker Blu-ray box set has been delayed. Yeah, I believe it's been delayed. Although I've got all films already, I was very, very tempted to have a look at that. And if the picture quality, I always say this about new releases, if the picture quality is a major step up, I might be tempted to treat myself, you know, maybe for Christmas. I don't know if it comes out before Christmas. I love Pete Walker, fantastic. He's a great director. He really is. Yeah. So, but it's a nice set, yeah. Calab's asking me, do you own many Halloween masks, Alan? I don't own one single Halloween mask, no. Although I've got a couple of monster figures. I've got Frankenstein, I've got Wolfman, I've got to add Dracula to the fold, and they'll feature prominently in the opener of when I show off my horror movie collection, because I've got them perched on top of the Blu-ray and DVD shelf. So they will feature prominently in the opener. When I get the Dracula figure, they will feature prominently in the opening of my horror collection video. So stay tuned for that. No, I don't own any Halloween masks at all. I still own a few from way back in the day, and I love independent Myers masks. Yeah, it wasn't the original Michael Myers mask, the William Shatner mask, and he sort of like done it down to make it like more horrifying. Still own my original Darth Vader mask from the back of a Starlock 1978. Well, that's good, isn't it? KN, yeah, Mumsy is out of print. Full film up on YouTube, right? I hope the picture quality is good. Mumsy nanny, Alan. Yeah. Right, so I've got a minute to go then, guys. So yeah, so thanks again for turning up. I really enjoyed it, and that, you know, it's been great, and I hope to be back again soon. I can't give you a specific date at the moment because it just depends on that, you know, fixed and that, you know. So, but I will let you all know. I'll do the usual thumbnail to let you all know when I'll be back on again. So yeah, so just stay tuned, just keep watching the channel and that. So it's been great. I've enjoyed it. Yeah, the nights flew over. It really has, and that. So thanks for turning up, everybody. And as I say, enjoy your Halloween and that, you know, have a nice time. All right, then, guys, I'm going to go now. I'm going to sign off. So thanks again, guys. I really enjoyed talking to you all. And I hope you have a nice week and that. And as I say, if you know, you go to any Halloween events and that, take care of yourselves and that, you know, stay safe. And I've enjoyed it, yeah. And all going well. I'll be back again. Hope to be back anyway in a not too distant future with another Alan Scouser live stream. All right then, guys, I'm going to love you and leave us all now. So take care. I'll see you all again very, very soon. Bye for now. Happy Halloween.